Are we live?
We're live.
Well, not live, right? Because we record.
Not live.
And then we edit and then we put out.
It's recording though. Yes.
We're live. You are not seeing this live. You are seeing it later on down the
at some point.
Just take it away, Ruby.
Yeah. There you go. All right. Thank you. Thank you for giving it back to me. Hello. Welcome back to Pen and Sword, an extremely professional Dungeons and Dragons actual play show. We're back. And just very quick before I jump into recapping stuff, at the very top of this, I wanted to make a brief correction. The kind of small unintentional mistake I warned about making in episode 1 that normally I wouldn't bother correcting, but this is slightly crucial to some of the stuff I have planned. So when the party was speaking with Haster, he warned that they were roughly a decade out from the apogee solstice. It's actually closer to 5 to 6 years. I was supposed to make that correction last episode, and I forgot. But now my notes are all clean and nice and pretty, and I remember things now. So, like I said, we're professionals, so it's okay. Anyway, last we were here, the party had a tense meeting with the Archdevil of the 7th layer of the 9 Hells. Haster, the Prince in Yellow, all except Rick agreed to a deal in which Haster would provide information on your enemies, their plans, your loved ones, the dangers that awaited you, the means to avoid these dangers, and any and all he could to help you on your mission. He would also provide transportation, namely 2 uses of teleportation or plane shift per signee per day. In exchange, you were all expected to travel to the Black Pit Fortress on the 8th layer if and when you got that far, and destroy an object called the Yellow Ward that was preventing Haster access to the layers deeper than his own. Separately, Rick was given his own offer, the same perks and the same mission, but he also had to assure Haster of his loyalty, as the prince was well aware of Rick's connection to the Ruiner. Rick was resistant, feeling that they'd want the Ruiner on their side, that was mentioned, and that he should be able to share what he's doing with his god, effectively. Haster put his foot down, and there was a bit of give and take of back and forth, and his temper flared a bit, but ultimately, Rick signed as well with the promise of a seat at the general's table if and when war came to the Hells. Come the morning, your new companion Melancholy provided you all with breakfast there at the Laughing Lamia Inn, and told you of her intention to stay with your group after having exhibited doubts the previous evening. She also signed a deal with Haster, but only really mentioned as much offhandedly. You all gathered yourselves, made a brief stop to visit Nimra's sister Kariash to warn her of the danger she and her potential future child might be in. You stopped in to visit Sean Gilmore, explaining that even though your patron Anzu had now offered to pay for the Iron Flask, and when meeting him you learned that had been dealt with, they had spoken, you might still want to go through with the mission to aid Zephyra sooner or later, as you felt it might be a good test of the group's skill. You then teleported all the way back to Ank'Harel in Marquette, to the Temple of the Mentor, where Mal, Rick, and Huxley saved the Apotheon not too long ago, with a little help from a halfling cleric, Terrace. Some of you briefly met with Archivist Iwo Zalair, while others began some research into Ruidus and the Ruidus Born. Rick went back to the Harried Mongoose, Mal went to visit Felix, and after a few hours, you all reconvened at the Harried Mongoose for Melancholy's previously promised or threatened group bonding exercise. She got you a private room, laid out shot glasses and booze, and forced everyone to play What the Fuck Is Up With That to mixed success. You learned things about each other, had a good time, mostly, and had begun to wind down as the drinks kept flowing. Now, here in your private room, 2 bottles in, mostly consumed by Melancholy, Rick, and Felix, who tagged along, you all remain together, and some of you are somewhat sauced. What's next?
It seemed like a pretty good night. I mean,
yeah.
There's nothing outstanding for Rick. Actually, you know what? He's not feeling terribly buzzed. He might drink a little bit more.
Oh yeah, keep it moving, big man. Let's do it. Several of you are way too few drinks in, I think. I kind of fucked up the structure of the questions, and half of you didn't even drink, which is upsetting. But I feel like I'm not capable of asking questions anymore. So I think you should just be drinking for the sake of it, personally, because it's a bit rude to me and to Felix for not be drinking, personally. So, it's my suggestion. She kind of sinks back into her chair a little bit and just kind of sits there like this,
Forgive me. Alcohol dries out my throat and gills.
Yes, the one shot Nimra has taken has, unfortunately, bled all the way through, and Mac and Nimra are both horribly out of commission throat-wise.
Just outing. Like Mac narratively transitioned that beautifully, and then boom.
Well, I don't. Oh my god! All right, you know what? All right, okay, I did. Yeah, that's me. That's my fault. I was gonna lead with fucking saying Mac's throat hurt, and I fucked it up, and I forgot to say. See, I always forget something. I forgot to mention that. So whatever. Fine. Never mind. Mac's actually perfectly fine. They're just doing this on purpose to make it impossible to understand Nimra this entire session.
Yeah, wait till we get like 3 days down the road in game, and then never mind. Rick will look at Felix and Melancholy. Well, I cannot speak to the rest of them, but Melancholy, what do you say we show Felix here a good time? We'll take him out on the.
Oh yeah, you up for that, buddy? You guys like smacking him on the back several times. Oh, I am already halfway in. Let's do it. What is a good time? What are we doing?
No, a good time is, but one, I do believe there was some sort of mention of your clothes hitting a floor.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to do that first?
That's right. Babe. I'm sauced up. I'm fitted down and ready to go. These buttons come off so easy, I tell you. I got it that way on purpose. What? And he just kind of like pulls a little bit, and like two of them with zero resistance. It's like they're tearaway pants almost. He's like, right, but, and then he struggles to he's like fumbling to put the buttons back together. It's the rest. That's all. Yeah. I'm ready. Oh, I just yanked my camera upwards. Hello.
That makes two of us, so I expect the other four of you to fuck up your camera.
Yeah, everybody has to do it at some point. I have to
just wait until my cat jumps up here.
If you want to go, we can go. If you want to be done here for the night, we can just go.
I don't want to be rude, you guys. Sorry. It's been a while, so, and I'm a little, I don't want to be rude. We can hang out or whatever, we can do that. If you all want, I just met most of you, so, or most of you, and he counts with the big loud finger. Wait, okay, less than most of you. No, he points to Melancholy, and then to Nimra, and then to Celion. I don't know you three, and that's a total of 6. So half of you. I just met half of you. So we can hang out. I don't know. I don't think I should lead the charge in this situation. Really.
You know what?
I'm going
You're
to just
so much drunker than I am, and I think that is a real shame.
Well, then, when he pushes a half-empty bottle towards you. Come on. All right, so let's go. Light it up. Suss it up, babes. Let's do it. You've got to get there. One step at a time. It's, easy going. I get it. Right? Designated. I don't, but I feel like gauging this group.
Yeah,
I think that one is the one who's liable to remain all in one piece by the end of the night. He's pointing at Nimra, who's sheepishly there off to the side. So
you can just keep going, and I pour myself a shot, tap it on the table, down it.
Drums on the table. Let's go. That's right. All right, let's do it. Oh, God, I'm this is exactly the kind of group bonding exercise I was hoping we would do, right? And, the good part is if you said some shit you regret saying, then if we all drink enough, nobody will remember. So that's the genius of this whole thing, right? So You know, it depends on how you hold your liquor, I guess. But I'm part of the way there, at least so far.
Yeah, come on, listen. We'll take you out. We'll show you the town. Actually, you probably know it better than I do at this point.
This place? Wait, which one are you talking to?
You know what? Never mind.
Yeah.
No,
I was gonna say, I think
Felix lives here. No, he should know.
I
town.
do.
Yes.
I do live here, and I very frequently walk the same 2 streets every day, so I know those like the back of my hand.
Well, then what do you say we start there? Show us these 2 streets, and we will
All right.
branch off from there.
All right, I can do that. And he tries to get up and then just immediately sits back down. It's like, all right, I need a second. I need to hold on. I need to reorient my sense of balance. Okay, give me a minute. And he just kind of grabs the table and sits for like a solid minute, very slowly pushing himself up onto his feet.
I have a walking stick here if you need it. You just got to be careful.
Oh, no. I'm not an old man. I'm young and spry and capable and can walk very well on my own. And he stumbles. I'm good. I'm okay. Thank you, Huxley. I'm okay.
There is nothing wrong with being old.
No, there isn't. But I somehow suspect most of us won't age as gracefully as you. And when I am old, I think I will need a walking cane, honestly, with all the things I unintentionally ingest in my work. So I feel like I'm causing damage to my body long term. So I feel like, I'm hanging on to it while I have it.
I don't know whether to be offended or not.
No, it is. I'm telling you, you are good. You are exceptional. I am not going to be, I think.
I think you're going to be amazing.
Thanks, babe. I know you do, right? We're going to be so good. I'll figure it out.
Okay, this is getting awkward for me, so I'm going to leave. And Rick just gets up from the table.
He's like still halfway into standing, and he's like, "Oh, did I say something? Shit." All right, that's okay.
Nimmer
He just kind of sits back
take
down.
the cue and motion towards Celiana to also stand up and potentially leave.
We gotta get the fuck out of here. Yeah, fair.
I think that it would be an excellent idea for you, Felix, to spend some time with your partner while you can.
It is true. While I can. That's a bit vaguely threatening.
I don't know. I mean, it's not meant to be. It's just,
No, I know. It's okay. It's okay. They told me everything. It's so super scary. I know.
Yeah, but we'll be traveling, and you should just take advantage to be with them while you can,
And he kind of leans forward and grabs your shoulders. He's like, Huxley, keep Mal safe for me, please. Thank you. Let's go. I'm sorry. I sort of stumbled and mostly just caught myself on you, but I'm okay. My bad. But please, keep each other safe. It's always so scary out there. You're all doing such big business, be careful and all that. And again, he into his seat again.
It's a really interesting walk. Like, if you press this button, it turns into a weapon. So it's not just an old man stick. It's very useful.
That's fucking cool. I want to stick with a button that turns into that gives me ideas. I don't know how to tinker with things, but I
have some blueprints if you want to see them.
Give me. Give me them.
To happen eventually.
Yes. I know.
Huxley opens up his backpack and just starts dumping scrolls.
Oh yes, he's throwing them out. He's pouring over them, just getting in really way closer than he needs to, and reading over them and mumbling to himself. He's very invested in this now.
And see, if you press this button right here, then it breaks apart into multiple pieces, and they each have their use, and then you can stick them together no matter what. It's very quick and easy, and I've cut myself more than once. It's pretty dangerous, actually.
Wow, that's awesome. That's so cool. What if you took this and you put a bunch of buttons, right? And each button sort of pop out like a little needle, and each needle has a different potion in it. And you can go, hello, do you want, what's a good example? Do you want water breathing? Paching, boom, you can breathe water. Do you want healing potion? Paching, boom, feel better. Do you want emergency laxative? Paching, boom, poop your pants, you're good to go. Do you want fire breathe? Just bing, bah, bah, and you can have like 6 in a single container, depending on the dosages, and sort of, or you could really fuck somebody up, put like 10 poisons in one and stick them all out at the same time, and just bah, with like 10 needles, and those will hurt, and then they'll be injected with 10 different poisons. And
wow,
honestly, that sounds so cool.
We're gonna work on this. All right, babe. I'm going to grab Mal by the shoulders also. All right, I have a limited amount of energy left, but enough boost to extend it. Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to take this piece of paper, Huxley, I will give it back. We're going to go home. I am going to sort of copy this with some minor changes. It will take me 20 minutes. In that time, you will get in bed and get super sexy. I will finish drawing, and then I will go in there and we'll go fucking crazy. And then in the morning, when I've slept it off, I will start working on the super needle, and you will be rejuvenated and ready to go save the world. Because what better way to prepare you for saving the world than going fucking crazy all night is what I'm talking about.
I return his waist. I scoop him up to steady him against my side.
Huxley just looks at Mal and mouths, "I'm so sorry."
And Melancholy looks at Mal and mouths, "I'm so jealous."
As you should be. Come on, babe, let's go home.
He's okay, all right. Good luck, the rest of you. Have fun walking around. Nothing else. He will let you lead him wherever you lead him.
Yeah, I will take him home.
Okay. Fair.
And do my best to mitigate any disasters.
Easy enough. You know the way home, so it doesn't take too long. Not too far from here. The rest of you. Rick, you already stepped out. What are Nimra, Hux, and Celiana doing? Unless I'm supposed to assume that Nimra motioning for Celiana to leave meant you both left in the middle of that anyway. That's also fair.
I think Celiana stayed back a bit. Yeah.
Just watched it all as it went. Yeah, that's fair.
Left the area to kind of get out of the whatever that was, but
okay.
Yeah.
Fair.
I think Huxley would linger a little bit after Mal and Felix left. Kind of look at Melancholy and probably take what was left of a bottle.
Yeah, that's right. That's the spirit. Take it.
Yeah, I'm going to go lock myself in my room and try not to commit a minor felony.
That's not. You should be committing minor felonies.
No, I'm in bad with one of the tavern keeps in this town. I don't need to be in bad with 2 of them.
You do? That's how you live.
Well, what if I want to, potentially live in this town someday? I don't want to be wanted at every single tavern.
Who cares? If you've got your own house, you don't need to be staying at taverns.
Well, I can be a social guy. I like to go out and visit.
Then you can just do stuff like this, and she kind of casts disguise self on herself and completely changes her appearance and now just looks like Rick instead, but small. And it's, see, and then you can talk like this and change who you are. And she is startlingly sounds identical to Rick as well. And you walk in and then there you go. You are a big guy who runs the place, and you sort of kick people around, and you're like, hey, buddy, give me booze. I will make this place a party, and they'll love you there, and you can go and then if you fuck shit up like that, you can just, when she's back to herself, you can change again. Not back to yourself, obviously, but I can only do that a certain amount of times a day.
I
and
mean,
don't want to do it again.
I can't do that at all. I mean, yeah, nope, not at all. And frankly, by the end of this, this magic isn't even mine. So,
can you?
I'll just
whose is it?
It's Aggie's. It's my wife's.
Your wife? I forgot. Can you ask her to let you do that? Can she do? Can you have? Can she do that?
Maybe. I don't know why I would need to be able to do that.
Or because if you get kicked out of every fucking bar in town, then you can go back in again as many times as you want. For an hour at a time. Then you have to run to the bathroom, and then you can come back out again.
Maybe that will be a conversation we have eventually. But
noted, Chief. I got
for now. We'll just we'll try not to commit any crimes.
I'll work on a more practical costume for you. Put together. You thinking like mustache? You thinking like silly glasses? New wig? You thinking like big loud clothes or like subtle? Like, it's fine. You know what? I'll read you like a book. I'll put it together the perfect disguise for you. Actually, I'll work on it in my off time. And then next time we're at a tavern, I'll be like, try it on, and then we'll do it, and we'll get really crazy, and we'll get kicked out, but then you'll see that it works, because then you can come back in.
All right. That is a thing that could occur.
Totally.
Good night. Please have a good evening.
Okay. Yeah, good night. Okay. It's kind of like grabs the bottle that's still there and just kind of like on the table. Just ignores you as you make your way out. And I believe, is that everybody? Everybody's left now? It's just her in there, I think? Yes? Or is anyone still in there?
Seal was sitting around watching.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. I think, she's going to go find Huxley.
Goodbye. out the private room.
Yeah, Huxley's power walking down the hallway.
Wherever he ends up being. She's not like running after him, but yeah. I don't know where he ends up, but
I think he's probably like, if they it would either go downstairs to like get a room for the night, or if they already have rooms. I can't remember if they got them already. Go to wherever his room is. Yeah.
Great. Then yeah, I'll just say that you have a room, and she'll just knock on the door. Wait to be let in, if you do.
Yeah. He's like mid, just like, I imagine it's like just a minute or two gap at most. So he's like in the process of just unloading his stuff. Probably has taken another shot and then just like opens the door. Oh, did I forget something?
No, I wanted to talk to you. She'll just come in and close the door. Just like let herself in. It didn't seem like quite the place to ask these questions with the drinking game and everything, but we're in similar situations, I suppose. But she'll just like take a second and collect herself. It seems it's been a bit longer for you. Can I ask how long it's been since Aggie was gone?
Yeah, of course. It's been a little over 4 years now. I stayed in Hupperduke for about a year, just looking for her, and I probably wouldn't have known something had happened to her until she contacted me. And then I set off on my own, started looking for her, just traveling, and I've been on the road for about 3 years now, I guess, just looking for answers. How long has your sister been missing?
I guess a couple months, maybe? And maybe a couple weeks before I found out. I'm not entirely sure, but not very long.
Do you know what... I know you came here to ask me questions, but yeah, I'm curious. Do you know what happened? What if she was just gone, or...
Not really. She just... It felt like she disappeared. And that was it. And all I found was her journal. And she mentioned Nimra. So I went to find them. And that is where we are now. So that's all I have.
I mean, it's a good lead.
Yeah.
Our apartment was just trashed. I had gone out for, maybe an hour or so to pick up something from the grocer, and came back, and I thought something terrible had happened to her, and I mean, it had. But nobody had seen anything, and I mean, they looked for her. After a while, they just assumed that she'd probably up and left.
But she wouldn't, would she?
No. I mean, I'm not... Neither of us are perfect, but to me, I mean, there wasn't anybody else in the world that I would ever consider, sharing my life with, and I know she felt the same. I know she feels the same, and but if enough people tell you something, you kind of start to believe it. That I'm just glad that I'm glad that I'm finally making progress after all this time. And I know what kind of situation she's in, and I imagine your sister's in a similar situation. But I know we're gonna find him. There's no other option, right?
I don't know what else to do. How have you gone on for so long without her? I'm trying to keep myself from rushing in, just leaving and getting nowhere, trying to save her myself. With the chance. But it's been longer for you. I don't know how you do it. That's
I before I met, the folks I've been traveling with, I didn't manage. I was angry. I was sad. I didn't sleep. But I've told myself that by the time, all of this is resolved and we're together and we're, settling down again, I still want to be the same man that my wife married. I don't, at least in theory, I'm different now. Maybe in some good ways, some bad ways, but I don't want to be a stranger to her. I want to be the man that, takes care of himself and, makes stupid little doodads and, wants to have a house and a family and a future, not someone who's miserable and dead inside. It was mostly as a joke. He opens up his tome, the packed book, and kind of opens up to the first couple of pages, and they're just letters. They're really, really short letters, like very succinct and concise. Just almost like they are not very well worded, just blunt. And it's like, today I woke up, I had a cup of coffee, I remembered to eat breakfast, I slept for 6 hours last night. Just kind of going through the really mundane steps of a day. And as he flips through it, a lot of them are like that. They get longer sometimes, and there's not always a response written on the same page or a different page. But I just take it day by day. Writing to her helps. I know that's not necessarily something that you've been able to do or whatnot, but just reminding her that I'm still me and that I'm well, and then her reminding me that, she's well even if she's not. It's some sort of normal for us, and I'm kind of rambling. It doesn't, I'm not all right sometimes. Not all the time. I have a lot of bad days, but I just keep chugging on. Because this isn't forever, It can't be forever. I'm sorry. I need to. He goes to the alcohol and just takes a swig from the bottle. If you want some, you can have it. I believe it or not, I did not start drinking because of this. I enjoy to drink every now and then. People will say that I've gotten worse, but I haven't. I don't even like the taste of this stuff, but this is a bit sweeter, so I don't mind it.
We're gonna find her.
I know. And we'll have one big happy ending at the end of this. I'm not really a an optimist by any mean, but I feel like if we're gonna go through the trouble of, saving the fucking world, we should get something out of it. I don't care if we, end up with piles of gold or whatever. I just want my wife back.
Yeah.
And you deserve your sister and your family. Have you been able to talk to anyone? I mean, your mother, your father. What do they think about all of this? I mean, you just up and left, but...
I haven't told them about it. I haven't heard from anyone. So I don't really know. Oh, maybe that was a bad idea. Maybe they think the same thing happened to me. Oh gosh.
I mean, if you don't want to see them, you could always write a letter.
Don't know what I would even say. Never been great with words.
With enough practice, I mean, if I can do it, anyone can do it. It's just a matter of laying out some facts, This is what's happened. This is where I am. This is what I'm going to do about it. And if you want to be sentimental, add in a couple of nice words here and there. It's generally enough.
I'll think about it. I'll try.
You need any paper? I've got plenty.
Sure, yes.
And if you need anything, I mean, if you need to talk, I'm more than happy to when I'm, more sober. But also, if you don't want to talk and you just need company, I'm happy to just sit with you. My projects don't always lend themselves to conversation.
Thank you. Not much for conversation anyways, normally. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sorry to bother, and bring all this up. She'll just kind of wander back to the door.
No, I mean, it's fine. It's fine. I'm always happy to talk, and sometimes I forget how young some of the folks around here are. And how old I'm getting. Good night, Celiana.
Good night. She'll leave.
I'm very glad you brought that up, Gwen, because I really wanted to talk to Seal too.
Yeah.
All on the same wavelength. We're getting there, guys. Team bonding exercise. It was foolproof. I told you. So, yes, you all. You got to the harried mongoose already as it was nearing the sundown, and so between the time you spent there and spreading back out to your chosen destinations for the evening, unless there's anything anyone wants to do, anywhere they want to go, or anyone they want to see, I presume that you each would have found a space. It's simple enough. Any one of your companions who've been here before could tell the newcomers a place to stay. You could stay at the Mongoose, at the Step-Aside where they stayed before. Hux and Mal, you're both welcome at the temple anytime. Of course, Mal, you've got home as well with Felix. And Rick, I'm sure you'll have no trouble finding a place to stay, whether it's the same place or a new place to pass the time yourself in the evening. By the time you would have left, it wouldn't have been incredibly late, so you do still have kind of time.
Yeah, Rick is going to venture back to the park where he got his spear, and find that same bench that he sat on. Pull out his spear, lay it across his lap, and just sort of just hold it in his hands for a couple of minutes, just sitting there and just kind of focusing on this gift that was given to him. And then going into the evening, as sun starts to set, I picture him getting up, grabbing his shield, and going through forms, right? So this is sort of a new weapon. He's used to wielding large axes, and so he's starting to once again try to get a feel for this lighter, sort of more nimble weapon. Very much Tai Chi with a spear in hand in the park.
Right.
Before probably finding a place. Actually, probably heading back to wherever Huxley was staying and sleeping outside the door. That's what he does. Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I presume it was a little looser than usual, but I presume in the time you all vacated the space, you would have caught up on where everyone is.
Yeah, it kind of feels like that. That's.
Yeah.
That's assuming that Huxley doesn't go back to the temple, which Rick is probably not allowed into.
Nah, I think he'd stay at the inn because he's intoxicated enough that if he's going to commit a felony, it doesn't need to be at his workplace.
Okay, fair enough.
That's fair.
Fair enough.
And you said you'd be by the door? Right outside the door?
Yeah, so he makes it a habit of being on guard. And if the door is locked when he gets there, because it was stated Huxley locks the door, Rick will just do like he's done in the past and take sort of a guard post position outside the door in the hallway, which probably is frowned upon, but anyways.
Okay. In your chosen places of retirement for the evening, you find your rest sooner or later and manage to have a relatively peaceful night's rest. Some of you may be less so than others, with certain thoughts swirling in your mind, but sleep does come to all of you eventually, as does the sunrise in the morning, waking you back up. Another day passed, arising in the uncomfortably sunny desert city of Ank'Harel. Where to next? Assuming, I guess, am I to assume you all would be meeting up, or are we just winging it? Are we just figuring out where we find each other?
On the one hand, it would make, narrative sense for us to be like, yes, we'll meet at this time and wake up. On the other hand, I feel like certain people were very sloshed and may not have had the same thought.
It makes as much narrative sense to have planned it as it does for this group to have not planned it. So I'll give you all free reign on that. But I'd imagine the main difference would be, unless you have something you want to do, if you planned it, you get somewhere on time. If you didn't, you don't really find each other until 1 in the afternoon, maybe. Between late wakers, hangovers, and not knowing where to go. Either or, whichever's best. But you do eventually come back together. We'll say back outside the same place you met at last night, outside the Harried Mongoose, and ready to sort of make your plans. Or at least most of you do. Melancholy's not there, but the rest of you are.
Okay. Good. Morning, everyone. Mal, how's Felix?
Pass the fuck out.
Yeah, he's dead as shit. He did not move. He was a rock when you left in the morning.
Okay.
I left them a glass of water, a cup of coffee, and some food.
Did he have my blueprints?
You know, the workshop was a lot, and I didn't want to move something that I should move and cause an avalanche of potentially explosions.
I can get them later. I mean, I probably don't need needles in my weapon because I will probably kill myself instead of someone else, you know?
Wait, hang on. What is this about needles and weapons?
It was a better idea last night, I think. But, in hindsight...
It was really cool.
This might be useful.
But I think probably the precision work should happen when neither of you are extremely drunk.
I do some really great... I mean, I made this, and he holds up the alchemical jar, and I didn't even remember I made it. So, maybe if we just both get incredibly hammered, we could knock something really great out. But, last night it was about you, and I didn't want to assert myself over that situation. But yeah, see, and I flick open my my staff, probably like almost hitting like whoever is probably close behind me.
Almost takes out Rake in the change.
Oh, sorry. But see, if we put some needles here and here and here, maybe not where my hand grip is, because that, I mean, no, not good if it kills me. But it's a possibility for poison, potions. It's a very, very good idea. Felix should patent that.
I knew someday the two of you were gonna link up the brain cells, and honestly, the result is even better than expected. But I appreciate you guys giving us some time last night. It's I didn't think I was going to be running out the door right after we both got here. So it was nice to have the time with him.
That's important. Those kinds of things, unfortunately, don't last forever. So it's important that you cherish the time together while you have it. So I think perhaps we need to go talk to Sean Gilbert. Mal and I have outstanding debt with him, and our bard does as well. She stated that she was on board yesterday, but she did not meet us here today, which is a bit of a problem, given the fact that we know that she has a target on her back. But she is part of our party, and if she is still alive, we should probably try to make sure she's okay.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, maybe we should go look for Mel, just to be safe, because the last we were talking about, she said something about clothes, and then I disassociated.
Yeah, is she staying in the same place still?
Last I saw her, that's where she was.
Yeah, none of you saw her after you left the mongoose since then, so.
You know what? I'll go check with the barkeep and see if they saw where she went. I'm sure if somebody saw her, it was them. I'll go to the bar and see if they remember a tiefling from last night.
Yeah, as you go to as you like open the door to step in, immediately crash into each other, and it's her, and she falls back onto the floor, and she like catches herself and is gripping onto a very big floppy sun hat that's nice and pink and has little slots carved for her horns, and it's like covering her, and she's like, and her eyes are squeezed shut, and you see she's got big old sunglasses on, and she just, hello.
Morning, kiddo.
Hey, hold
Going
on.
to the beach.
I'm kind of hungover, and the sun doesn't do me any favors, and we're in a goddamn desert, so, you know. And she just kind of like, onto her feet, and will kind of step out and shut the door behind her, and just, yeah, it hurts when the light hits my eyes, so I'm trying to minimize that currently. It sucks, but
Where is? You know what? It doesn't matter. He's big enough. Rick's gonna just position himself so that Melancholy's
In front of the
standing
sun.
in his shadow, just a little bit, which also makes him slightly backlit, which is important for the next part of this conversation.
Thank you.
No problem.
So nice.
So, Hestor, interesting fellow, no?
Yeah, he's cool. He's really hot, honestly. It's pretty cool talking to him.
Yeah. What did you give him?
What did I give him?
Well, you said you signed the paper, so he
Yeah.
had to have taken something from you.
Well, I'm part of the team. We're doing the whole thing. We're getting rid of the thing that's not letting him go down there. I'm part of the team.
If that were
You
true,
know?
if that were true, Melancholy, you would have signed with the other four.
I
So
wasn't
what
there.
did he take from you? That would not matter.
Well, he didn't.
I was
I mean,
there,
he didn't-
and he made me sign something separate.
Yeah, he didn't take anything from me though. We talked, and he told me that I could go with you guys, and he would transport me around as you guys are transported around, and and I had to go do the thing. He did tell me that I'm not allowed to know stuff. He kind of sealed me out of that. He did tell me you guys know stuff, but that I'm not invited to those meetings about knowing stuff, which I told him was fair. It's probably for the best. But yeah, that he didn't take anything from me.
You aren't curious at all why somebody who is part of the party is not allowed to know the same stuff?
No.
Interesting. Huh. Okay then. Well, this is going to get interesting real quickly.
Is it? That sounds
Oh,
scary.
yes. Yes,
Seems threatening.
most definitely.
Vaguely.
Oh, no, I am not threatening you. I am very much worried about the men who offered us pieces of paper. But
Yeah.
we cannot know until it happens, so, where to next? Have you talked to your sister about the fact that she's in trouble as well?
I should probably do that. Hold on. Give me a
Probably.
second. She kind of moves off she kind of squats down facing away from the sun and pulls out her bag, and you see she's pulling something out of her bag. And she kind of prepares like a little bit of magic, and she just okay, puts her hands up. Joy. Warning. You are in danger from devils maybe kidnapping you. Be careful. Sorry, I'm hungover. Be on the lookout. Shit. And yeah, I think she got all that. Okay. I told her. She's... Oh, shit. And she stops for a minute. She's clearly listening to the response, and then she just... Okay, alright. That's... Oh, wait. I'm not answering that. Okay. We're good. Good to go.
Okay, then. Well, if you are fine with being a target of these devils as well, and we all accept that risk, then I suppose the next thing is to go talk to Sean Gilmore. And seeing as you are the face of the party, as that is what you have been brought in for.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to go talk to Sean. I don't want to go back in there until I have money to give him. I feel like that's kind of rude. I don't want to do that.
Well, we have an opportunity to square your debt. That is why we are going to see him.
I don't want you to pay for my debt, actually. It's a lot of money. I don't agree with that, personally.
Mel, are you part of this group or not?
Yeah, but I'm not part of the give Mel a bunch of money for nothing party, okay? I don't want to... I'm a big girl. I can deal with my own mistakes most of the time.
You're literally walking into hell with us.
Yeah.
Take care of your own.
Am I? I mean, yeah, but like... Exactly. So that seems like kind of small fish to fry later, you know?
Yes,
Gilmore kind of scares me. I don't.
Do you all have the money to pay for her debt?
Yeah, that
No.
too.
No, but there is an opportunity to square that away, seeing as we no longer have to do the Zephyr thing for the Iron Flask.
Well, I mean, why don't we sit down, take a look at everything there is to possibly do, and I guess figure things out, because there's a lot.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
We're on a more lax timetable now. We were previously budgeted about a year. We have teleportation now. We could easily stop.
I don't want to go. Don't make me go back there, guys. Please don't make me go back there. I don't want to do that.
So long as you can do the talking, you'll be fine.
You misunderestimate Gilmore's capability to talk around me, okay? I am very good at talking. Gilmore is a salesman for a living, and that is a skill set I do not possess. And I'm also, can we at least wait until I'm not hungover anymore? At least, at a minimum. I don't want to do this. You're going to make things worse for me. If you push me in there, I'm gonna make it worse for myself.
Why are we torturing her?
Yeah, I agree.
We don't
Why are
need
we
to do
doing
this.
this to me? I did nothing wrong to be treated this way. I made us group bond exercise time yesterday. We're so close as a group now. We're like best friends because of me. Did you guys hate that? Did you not like that? Did I upset you? Why are we making me do this? I don't want to do this.
Okay.
Okay.
Fine.
Okay.
We'll give you a day, maybe two.
Okay, cool. All right. Okay. I will not drink in those at least the day before. Warn me when we have a day left exactly. And I will not do that. And then I can do it. Then I'll be fine.
Rick just gives sort of like a knowing wry smile. He's clearly enjoying this a little bit more than he should.
Yeah, and she's unaware that he's fucking with her because she's taking it all completely seriously. She's scared.
She's hungover. Yeah, she's scared and hungover.
Exactly.
Okay, well, have we covered all of our bases? We know that actually, something is bothering me, and now that we are all here, I think it should be addressed. We know that several of our loved ones have been taken, and several more are at risk, including our beloved Melancholy here. Does it bother anybody else that this particular situation is a statistical impossibility? think about the fact that 6 of us were brought together seemingly by chance. Each one of us having one or more than one people in under threat because they are ruralist born, a rare condition in its own right.
Yes,
does
that
not
is
feel
why I
weird?
wanted to go to Jrusar to do some research. Because this is an anomaly, I wanted to find more about what local mythos and legends say about the rudest born.
Well,
Okay then.
I mean, you guys, like, from what I remember, you guys have done some crazy stuff, right? You 3, before I met you guys, you know, you did significant stuff, and like that involved the gods and stuff. And I mean, sure, like, I get what you're saying, but have you thought that maybe it isn't an accident? You know, like,
That is what I'm
the-
worried about.
oh yeah, good point.
I'm
I
worried
mean-
we are all being played.
Oh, well, that's kind of pessimistic.
Is it?
Yeah, I would think so. You know, forgive me if I misremember the details. Like I said, I've forgotten stuff, but I remember, like, you guys did some stuff here in Ank'Harel, and you saved that guy who was, like, important to the gods, and the gods were part of that whole thing. And I mean, you know, they're gods, right? They have kind of their own plans and their own agendas and their own sort of, just, you know, they're gods. They're kind of beyond us. And don't you think if you did something for them, right? Because you saved this guy or whatever, and you did this great stuff, maybe that, like, proved you to them, and this has been kind of willed to happen, so to speak, because maybe they think you're capable enough for whatever, that maybe they know about this, maybe they know what's happening, maybe they know about what all this stuff is about, you know? Maybe they want you to stop it or something, right? Like, I feel like, you know, different gods stand for different things, and different people worship those different gods differently amongst themselves as well. It's a big kind of chain of interpretation and history and all that stuff. And I don't know. I think at the heart of it all, though, there is a kind of truth to what the kind of general idea of what they are is. They care about us, and they, you know, and maybe it means something is all I'm saying. Like, I feel like if the gods have involved you all in this and have brought us together as we are, it was on purpose, but for a good thing. A chance to be, at least for me anyway, it feels like a chance to be more than I have been, you know? And for you guys, maybe in what you did, you proved yourself capable of leading us to whatever they need done. I don't know. You know, it's not like I talked to them, but I feel like you have more of a reason to be trusting of them than distrusting, I think.
That was powerful and well spoken.
Thanks.
And
I've never given a sermon before.
And the perfect view of somebody who has been chosen.
Thanks. That's exciting.
Do you see the problem?
No.
Melancholy, we are not the chosen ones. You are a chosen one. Your sister has been chosen. Aggie was chosen. Celiana's sister was chosen. They are the ones who are Ru this born under the Red Moon. A plot that was put in place long before the three of us saved this city.
Yeah.
We are not the chosen ones.
But maybe I'm
We are
saying
cursed.
because yes, that happened to be the case, but then the fact that the anomaly you said was that we all ended up together with these similar, we all have someone in this position. Maybe that is the intentional part, you know? I don't think the gods choose whose Ruin is born, because that kind of stinks, and I feel like they wouldn't just be like, hey, your life's gonna suck. Not that it sucks for everybody, but like a lot of people, you know, have shitty lives because of being born under it. You know, a lot of, from what I understand, Ruinous born are usually seen with a lot of superstition and a lot of kind of distrust, that sort of thing. And I feel like they wouldn't do that to someone, but if they see a group of people capable to do the thing they want to do, and, you know, I'm saying maybe there's something to it. Maybe like they put together a team. They picked you guys because you saved the city. They picked Nimra and Celiana and me for some other unknown reason, and now we're together and we're gonna like save stuff, you know? I'm just saying, I think you should cut them some slack, maybe, you know? Maybe give them a chance, talk to them or something. I don't know how it works. I pray sometimes, and I go to I haven't been to the temple in a while, but I go every now and then, especially when shit really sucks, and it's helpful, and I feel like they're gonna be helpful in this if it's really that serious, you know? So like, I feel like give them a shot, you know?
We need to go to Jrusar. We need to know more.
Okay.
Something about this does not add up. And I am not all that good at arithmetic.
Me neither.
The fact that I know the word arithmetic in common is impressive in its own right, but that is something entirely.
Oh, it's wonderful. I thoroughly agree. Jrusar seems like our best bet.
So, should we call our little horn daddy and have him pop us over there, or...?
He's kind of big, to be honest.
Rick, listen to me, Rick. Please never let those words come out of your mouth ever again.
And Melancholy kind of like punches him in the shoulder. It's like, don't worry. There's enough daddy in me for both of us. I got it.
I am sensing there is some sort of double thing happening here that I don't entirely understand.
She kind of looks at you guys and just...
When we get to Jrusar, because I'm not going to explain it.
Is there some sort of, like, dictionary I could find these... It's maybe some, like, urban underground kind of thing?
No, I'm quite confused as well. If we could maybe take a second to look back and explain it.
Okay, I got it. I got this, guys.
And Nimmer takes out their journal.
Rick stares just intently. See it like, okay, yes.
Okay. It's pretty simple. So some people, by no fault of their own, whether it's just naturally inborn or stemming from some kind of issues in a paternal or maternal relationship, or just, you know, it's just a thing. Some people, because by normal standards, mommy and daddy are expressions to label a parent, especially as a young child, or as an adult it can be done, but mostly if adults say that, it's kind of a joke, right? For some people, like I said, just cause, or maybe it stems from some kind of issue in their paternal relationships. Some people, that is when they are...
Huxley's like opening his book and just writing to Haster, please come and get us.
When they...
I'm sorry. I'm so. Rick just said it. I didn't realize this was going to be a thing until after it came out of his mouth.
We could just fade to black.
Yes, fade to black.
Some
Ruby's still
people,
going.
when they're with their partners, and like as she continues, you see her hair is like blown forward, and like her hat kind of tumbles off, and she freaks out and like stumbles forward, and in like a burst of light and flame behind her, stepping out of it as it dissipates. But in human guise, Haster kind of steps out, dressed in suitably opulent yellow and black robes, bracelets and rings, and kind of like a sort of just soft dark brown skin to him in his human form, with yellow eyes being the only kind of hint at his natural form. Like they're normal eyes, but the irises are yellow, basically, not solid yellow or anything. He kind of steps out and she stumbles forward. Oh shit! Hey daddy, we were wondering where you got off to. he kind of like steps out of it and like looks at her and says nothing, and then looks to the rest of you and just, pleasure to see you all again. Where are we going?
To Jrusar, if you would be so inclined.
Jrusar, not too far, but why not save the trip? Certainly. And he kind of like looks around and just kind of motions for you to come with him out of the open street where there are lots of people going back and forth.
Where he just showed up in a mote of flame.
Yeah, he kind of just tucks back, and in that you notice that a couple of people kind of noticed and are kind of looking to see what's going on. But he kind of just, you're out front of the mongoose, and he just kind of steps back into the alley space behind it, just out of sight of the street itself, and you see him kind of preparing something in his hands, and the kind of arcane energy brewing in his palms. Okay, so is this one destination for the day? Are you going to call me back? Do you want me to wait around for you? Or is this a quick thing or a long thing, do you think?
We're not too sure. We're looking for information, and if something pops up, it could take longer.
Okay. Noted. I'll hang around for a little bit, and I'll give you a couple hours. If it's longer than that, you can just call me back around. And go ahead. No? Okay, I thought you were about to say something. Okay. He kind of finishes this conjuration and draws his hand up, and a line forms, and it opens up into a brilliant yellow kind of opening. And through it, you can see, covered in the brightly illuminated by daylight, you can see just from your angle, just through the portal, the clouds, and in the distance, the faint sight of a jungle canopy, faintly obscured by fog. After you.
Okay, Rick will just go. Yeah.
Yeah, if nobody else goes, Nimura would bow and go in first.
He'll bow right back. And as you each kind of step in, he will follow as the last person goes through. And you'll feel that kind of momentary sort of like pull on your body as the portal transports you through space. And as you all come out, you hear it kind of close behind you. And as you kind of step out and you kind of blink back the blur that hits you for just a moment in the act of being transported, allowing your eyes to adjust, you are greeted by an absolutely stunning view. You are looking out over a balcony down at a vast stretch of dense...
It's a stretch trench. A stretch.
Yeah, there you go.
Stretch.
Out at a stretch of dense jungle canopy, which mostly obscures roadways that you can just barely make out through small breaks in the tree cover, that faint layer of fog over top of it, fog and mist, and the breeze immediately washes over you, as does the moisture in the air, a severe departure from the harsh, dry heat of Ank'Harel. And you look around and quickly realize that this isn't just a balcony attached to a home or like a porch. No, you're on the street, and the entire street is functionally a balcony overlooking this jungle. The edge is blocked off by sturdy stone walls, high enough to keep you safe, keep you from falling, but low enough to give you this wonderful view. And as you realize this, you quickly take in the rest of your surroundings, and your eyes follow the street as it winds away from you, and you see numerous buildings, shops and homes, and all manner of structure one would expect to line the paths of a large city. And beyond them, maybe a couple 100 feet from where you stand as the street winds around a corner, you see a large, hulking construct standing perfectly still beside a young man, human in appearance from here at least, with well-trimmed shoulder-length brown hair and dressed in a dark green and gold-trimmed outfit, clearly a uniform of some kind. He's taking coins from people, and as they just as they step past him and board onto a gondola that you can see mounted onto cables. When they're on, the attendant seems to just kind of shut the gate behind them, and the construct bends down and grabs hold of a large crank and just begins to turn it. And the gondola shifts into motion, and your eyes follow the cable up, and that's when kind of the rest of the sight sort of becomes clear. The cable connects to a massive tower-like mountain spire, and you can see beside it, and now even in other directions around where you stand, other similar spires. You see streets and urban districts carved into their exteriors and cables running between all of them, gondolas gently drifting as they get pulled up between them. And you yourself are on one of these spires, and you are very, very high up. And as you come in and the portal closes, you can hear Haster's voice behind you and just, where are you off to now?
I believe it was the conservatory.
Yes, the Star Point Conservatory.
I know the one. Good luck. I'll be around. Write me if you need me. And he just kind of starts walking off into the city.
You don't want to point us to it or anything? We don't know where we are.
Fine. No spirit of
Draw some
exploration
map.
in you. Sure. And he he kind of like he starts to like kind of point out at the different spires that the city is built onto, and he just begins, so I've deposited you here on the core spire. It is the largest one of the different spires that make up the city, and it's the central sort of point. You can get to any of the others from here. The Star Point Conservatory, if I recall correctly, is on the Airy Spire, which will be right down the road to that gondola right there. You head up, and you should find it, and there's also the other university in the city, the Ascension's Rise. It's also there, if I recall correctly. If you go up, and then maybe a couple of blocks north from where the gondola stops, it should be somewhere around there. I haven't been here in a long time, so forgive me if it's not exactly fresh in my memory.
Right, well, thank you very much for your directions.
Of course. Good luck. And he heel turns and
On the good luck. Is that genuine, or is that one of those things you say when what you actually mean is go fuck yourself?
insight check. Go for it.
God. 17 plus 6, 23.
Seems genuine.
Okay. Interesting. Really? Okay. Great. So I guess we head in that general direction, at least for a moment, and then Rick stops. This is one of those places with lots of books, yes?
That is the goal, yes.
I am going to be honest, not sure how useful I'm going to be.
Rick, you can't keep running away anytime there's a place with a bunch of books there.
Not worried about that. Reading is whatever. More importantly, I have never been to Jrusar before, and I am most curious about their libations.
I'm also kind of curious about their
Drinks.
Yeah, that.
The drinks, the alcohol.
Yeah.
And perhaps the food. It has been many moons since I have explored exotic foods.
Is it
I
exotic?
don't know if you should be encouraging Melancholy to start drinking already.
Why?
That's
What time
kinda
is it?
true.
She just woke up.
Yeah, probably.
Very well. I will go find my own way.
Oh, do we? I don't look. Okay, that's not my.
Listen, if you need to find me, just listen for the fight in the streets, right? That is how you
That
most often
seems
find
like
me.
what we don't want to happen. We just got here.
Okay, would somebody explain to her exactly what I'm talking about?
I'm trying to be responsible.
We appreciate that, and I am simply trying to make light of a terrible situation in which we have been pigeon-forked into a mission and held by the cojones by that guy.
Okay. It's not
I'm sorry,
my
I'm a
bag.
little
Kind of like
tense.
steps away and just kind of like hangs by the balcony and puts her arm, looks over, and immediately just turns around and just kind of waits for you guys to resolve this yourselves.
I mean, this
I-
could easily turn into a situation where there is nothing. Maybe it's a good idea to stick together for just a bit until we know whether or not this actually is a lead, because if we get there and then we immediately have to turn around, then we have to go into the city
Come
looking for
find
you, and
Okay, alright. You are right. It is not tactically efficient for me to go find breakfast.
but if I mean, this does turn into a thing, I would be happy to give you my order because I work better on a full stomach. But
We can make note of all the little shops we passed along the way. Maybe we'll find some Jrusar specialty cheese. You can try something new.
That sounds like a plan.
Okay. So, I take it then you'll start making your way in the direction Haster pointed you. Like I said, it's a couple hundred feet from where you landed. At this time of day, it's still pretty early. It's people are out and about, though it's kind of past the very early morning kind of rush to work and stuff. So it's traversable. It's not packed in the streets or anything. And as you make your way over to that first to that gondola, you can see the by now the large automaton is still cranking, but the gondola is now kind of slowly making its way back, and it's just kind of sitting there moving the crank. And as you come up, the attendant, he kind of just sort of nods at all of you and just kind of sits waiting, watching the gondola, waiting for it to get all the way back. A minute or so, and it just kind of comes in. You can see it gently kind of shifting, and it poof, into place, locking into that the kind of place where it stops. He reaches in and he opens the door, and a couple of people kind of shuffle out and give him a nod and make their way past. And he kind of steps, sort of hand out, expectantly waiting for you guys.
how much is the
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I'm not used to it. It's 2 silver per person.
Right, thank you. Sorry, we're tourists.
No problem. Sorry. And he will clearly tired, already not up for this shift today, and it's like not that late. But he'll take 2 silver per person from each of you. And once he's received it, kind of puts it in a little pouch, and once you each step in, he shuts the door behind you. And you can hear him kind of sort of lock it effectively. Not lock it, but like secure it. And you kind of find your seats. And it's this nice, it's got space for all of you and height enough for even the tallest of you to fit comfortably. And the seats are plush and well kind of lined with a soft fabric, and they're all there, and it's cozy. The windows, you can see out to the other spires and out and down many, many hundreds of feet down to the misted over canopy that covers the jungle floor below, and you can make out directly beneath the gondola. You can see buildings and streets as though there is a sort of ground level to this city as well, that you couldn't see from the balcony that looked out beyond its kind of borders. And once you're in, you can hear, after a moment, and then you hear the cranking begin again, and it starts to, it shakes into place, and then starts to move up the cable and up.
I hate this.
Rick puts a hand on Huxley's shoulder and goes, do not worry, my friend. Should we plummet and meet our inevitable end, I am going to hell anyway, so I'll find Aggie and tell her you lived a good life.
Good to know. Don't let her know I was scared of this, because this is a new fear I didn't know I had.
You were extremely heroic.
Yep.
And it's maybe a 4 or 5 minute ride, kind of as it goes, and the whole way it will occasionally just kind of like
I hate this.
It'll hit like a little imperfection in the cable or two when it just kind of knocks a little bit, and eventually it keeps drifting, keeps going, and then you can hear as just a bit of grind in the cable as it nears the end. And it rocks forward and slowly comes to a stop. And you can hear the latch lift and the door open, and a different attendant, a shorter, kind of dark-skinned halfling in the same dark green and gold-colored uniform, open up and sort of nod at you and step out of your way to allow you out.
Huxley just crawls out, basically.
Melancholy bolts out of the thing and like immediately stumbles out of it as fast as she can.
Alright, you're on solid ground. Take a minute. Take a
People do
breath.
this every day.
We survived.
As you do, you can see the same, almost the exact same make and model of automaton standing there, having just released the crank as it stands back up to its sort of stasis position. And you kind of walk past, and immediately you're greeted by a couple of people boarding the gondola, and they catch your eye immediately as being dressed in very fancy looking clothes, very fine, expensive clothing, and they kind of give you looks, and they're just like, they just kind of like seem to like be surprised by your general appearance, but they kind of shift around you and get onto the gondola and pay the 2 silver, and the doors close.
Rick
Rick
does that thing. Rick does that thing that, people do on the street when like you watch people walk around you. Just eye contact. Just don't break. Like watch them move around us. Like yeah. He's definitely got a what?
Make an intimidation.
He's definitely got like a body man feel to it. Oh my gosh. That is a 19, and he's an intimidating guy, so that's a total of 27.
Yeah. So kind of as you like mean mug these people, they like a couple of them only give you like a short glance anyway, so they just kind of look at you and keep going. But like 2 of them look at you, and you can see like immediately like the fear in their eyes, and they just and they push each other forward and clamber into the thing before it's shut behind them. And yes, as you step out, and again the automaton bends down and starts cranking it, and the gondola starts moving back. You see out now the rest of the airy spire, as it was named to you, kind of stretched out before you, and from here you can see that this is easily the tallest of the several spires that make up the city. So you're even higher up than you were before, and you kind of catch your footing, look around, and you can see the streets kind of wind in further. But as it's all built onto the edifice of these things anyway, you can see not far from here, you can see a rather large, like the edifice of a rather large structure built further in and slightly up from where you are. There's a large staircase that kind of winds up to it, and where you can see a number of people kind of moving in and out. It's like kind of the most distinct building in your view at the moment. And yeah, as you gather in, gondola's on its way back. Now you got to start looking. And we'll take a quick break right there. We'll come back as you come together and try to find your way to the conservatory, or wherever you end up, I suppose. We'll see. Welcome back. Back we are all together again. How exciting. I always have to clap. That's how I cue myself to go. As we were, just now having disembarked from the gondola ride up from the core spire to the airy spire, a noticeable larger structure built into the side of the airy spire up ahead being the main notable landmark you can see. You now find yourselves right there at the gondola station, the automatons cranking, and the breeze being the main sounds you hear. The halfling, their attendant as well. Beside you as you step out, you've got your destination in mind that you don't know where it is. What's next?
Rick turns to the attendant. Excuse me, what we are looking for, and then turns back to the group. Star Rain book place?
A Starlight, Star Point, Star something conservatory. Sorry, my notes are just smudged.
Yes, the Starpoint Conservatory. And he kind of he clearly gives you a look that's like, you there?
Yeah,
and he and he kind of thinks for a minute, and he sort of points off down the road. If you head that direction, it's maybe 2 blocks down, make a left, and then just go, and it'll be straight ahead from there. You'll have to get a couple blocks down from here. It's kind of on the other side of the spire, but you should be able to find it fine. It's pretty large, and it's got the kind of plaque denoting the campus as well. You'll be able to see it.
Thank you.
He's got a little a bellhop's hat kind of. He just boop.
No, I was gonna say Rick tips an invisible cowboy hat. That's not
Close enough. Yeah.
Rick thinks it's some sort of salute or wave or something, so he also reaches up and
Yeah. He kind of raises an eyebrow at you and just kind of shrugs it off okay, tourists.
Great. 2 blocks up, hang a left.
All right.
Let's go.
You start making your way down, and the streets of the Airy Spire are notably less crowded than the Core Spire. The Core Spire is very busy, and while you were there, just a smattering of different people from all over Exandria really could be seen there. You saw humans and dragonborn and dwarves and ice Fura, which are the bird like people, and elves, including drow. All sorts of people, and here it's the same kind of diverse spread of peoples, but they are just much smaller in number. All of them dressed in kind of finer clothes, and this whole space, it seems almost like more formal, almost like this is sort of a place of business and learning. You get the read between the 2 universities being here and the way these people dress. That's kind of the read you get from it. When you do make your way up and then take the turn as directed, you can see a long avenue that runs down quite a ways, and the same number of people kind of spread out. A bunch of humans, elves, some gnomes. You can see a very large their being so large makes them stand out. Their silhouette amongst these people, something like 8 feet tall, with these big kind of flopping ears and a trunk, a sort of elephant-like person kind of making their way past some people and stepping around them before ducking down real low and heading into one of the buildings just off the street. But there's the street's wide and there's plenty of space to walk in, and most people you can see are very clearly directed. They know they're going somewhere, they've got something to do, so they're just kind of moving. There's not a lot of stopping conversation or anything like that going on in the street. So still, besides the shuffle of walk and sort of small talk between people as they go, the main thing you're able to hear is that kind of breeze from being up so high in the mountains. And very faintly from some other direction than the one you came, you can hear more of the kind of click, 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 click grinding of the cranks that the automatons pull. As you imagine, there are other gondola stations elsewhere. You continue on down this way, down to the end, where you do see this rather large structure now built into the side of the spire here, and a staircase that leads up to it. And you can see a very large plaque with this kind of blue, black, and gold sort of scheme to it that reads Starpoint Conservatory on the front of it, very clearly labeling this structure as such, the entryway to the campus at least. And there's people kind of coming and going. Most of them seem pretty young. There's lots of humans who you read somewhere in their early 20s, and the more long-lived races similarly, though, like elves, are hard to tell. You still get the sense that there's a lot of youth here in the equivalence of those kind of age brackets. You do occasionally see other people older and dressed in similar colors and patterns, not really like a uniform, but like you kind of get it's not hard to identify them as likely being staff of the conservatory. Coming in, much fewer in number, but occasionally older people. I'm talking humans maybe in their between their 50s and their late 60s, and older elves who have just the faintest little note of crow's feet and the like. And gnomes and dwarves whose hair is graying and that sort of thing kind of coming and going. But the actual doors to the conservatory itself lie open as the people kind of come and go. It's early in the day and it's frequent foot traffic, so they kind of keep it open for people to come and go.
Whew, so this is what it's like to go to college.
I haven't been on a campus like this in many years. Well, let's find the library.
Who wants to lead? I don't really know what a place like this is like. But I don't know. Nimra, do you know where something like that would be?
I don't know. DM, would Nimra have a better idea?
Brick's gonna go find a front desk.
You're muted, by the way, Ruby. We're not hearing any audio.
Oh, fuck.
Maybe
Thank
she's
you.
not talking. Okay.
I'd say give me a history check, Nimra. And yeah, Rick will lead in. Melancholy will tag along. You guys start making your way and find the front desk.
That's gonna be a 22.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, you've been on a couple different academic campuses before. You wouldn't say that they have similar layouts at all. Like Cobalt Soul places tend to have similar structures because they're part of the same organization, but every university's campus is going to be different. You'd probably know it when you saw it, but you wouldn't know where to go right from the get-go. But you do, when you step in, it is quick and easy to find a front desk. There is a number of students kind of lining up, and there's a couple words exchanged, and they go, and they come, and they go. When you actually get close enough, you do catch sight of a middle-aged looking human woman. She's got light brown skin and dark black hair that she keeps up in kind of like the space buns, with just the faintest traces of wrinkles along her eyes and her lips. And she dresses in clothing befitting a member of the staff, similar to the ones you've seen, elegant and fine clothes in blues and blacks and purples, along with a little room for accessorizing with jewelry. She's got hoop earrings and a couple necklaces and a couple bracelets. She's tending to students and seemingly answering a couple of their questions and directing them on where to go and giving them like schedule information, that sort of thing. And there's a couple of them that come and go, but eventually it kind of clears out, and she just kind of tends to something that she's looking at behind the desk once they've vacated and given her space.
Great. Yeah, I mean, Rick would queue up if there was like some sort of line or queue,
Sure.
and just wait for his turn to get to the
Yeah,
front.
sure. They cycle through pretty quickly. It's all short, quick questions that she kind of points, directs, or gives the information. They shove off all of them. Every kid here seems like they're in a rush. And when you get to the front, she kind of glances up at you briefly, and then kind of back and forth between you and what she's looking at. Good morning. How can I help you?
Good morning. He'll motion for Nimra, unless Nimra's got it. Yeah.
Good morning. Would you be able to point us in the direction of a library or some other repository of information? I'm on a research request.
Well, I could certainly, assuming... Well, not to make assumptions, but you don't look like any of the students I've seen around recently. I take it you're not actively attending the conservatory?
No.
Then, do you have any sort of written permit or passage of entry? I'm sorry, unfortunately I can't simply let outsiders into the conservatory willy-nilly.
Not so much written. We have, some of us are members of an organization most interested in information and the like, and we were just kind of hoping you might extend a little bit of professional courtesy to us all.
I'm sorry, to who?
Oh, none of you are wearing robes.
Well,
No, Nimra is.
Oh,
Nimra
Nimra's
has
wearing...
Mel's got their armband.
Yeah.
Huxley
okay.
took his off. He's just wearing a sweater in the jungle.
Sorry. When we were looking for some information in the Cobalt Souls library, for my own research, mind you, I was looking through some books, and the next place that we were pointed by was here.
I see. Well, suitable recommendation, I suppose, though unfortunately membership with the Cobalt Soul doesn't exactly grant access to the conservatory's libraries by default or anything. I appreciate your academic pursuits, trusting you're with the Soul. I imagine they're genuine, but regardless, I cannot simply allow you in without... If you're not students at the conservatory, you would need some kind of written letter of recommendation from someone of note, preferably from one of the Mahan houses, or from the Shonde Quorum.
I mean, who are those people? Organizations?
You're okay. So when you said the Soul sent you here, they sent you here from somewhere far away, I imagine. You're not from Jrusar. Apologies. The Mahan houses are the noble houses that represent and run the city, really. And the Shonde Quorum is our seat of government, our council, if you will. They are the government of the city. Some kind of letter of recommendation from a member of the Mahan houses or from the Shonde Quorum is what I would require to allow access to non-students.
Interesting. Not any sort of recommendation from our own organization.
Well, no. Many of the staff, the professors here at the conservatory have worked with the Cobalt Soul in the past, and the Cobalt Soul have worked with us, sent their own here as well. There isn't really... The Cobalt Soul don't really have a presence in Jrusar, and they don't exactly have sway over the rules here, unfortunately.
I would been nice to know that before coming all the way here.
Well, unfortunately, I didn't know you were coming.
I'm not angry at you, I'm just angry at the situation.
Hux, you'll hear in your head, hey, should I press the red button?
Oh no. Fennel?
No, that's Melancholy's
Melancholy.
voice.
Oh, that sounded like the way you were whispering it. I was like, oh god!
Sorry. She's here! Whoa, surprise! No.
That's the proper response for Fennel being here.
That also sounded like something that she would have said.
Really did. It got me too.
Hux, should I press the red button? I've got it ready. See her standing in the distance with an actual big red button. Just
God! Oh, I didn't have a heart attack.
Fennel jump scare.
it happened once. I can do it again.
Yeah. No, you're fine. No, we don't press anything. Don't touch anything.
It's not an actual red button. It's like I can.
Oh, thank God.
I can try to convince her.
Oh, God, you
Is
go
this an
ahead.
emergency? You can like turn around and see her fiddling with copper wire and trying to very subtly cast message behind you. Like she's standing behind Rick so she isn't visible to the woman and just like fiddling with it to do it.
I mean, it's between this and seducing members of government, so you take your pick.
That's a really hard choice. You have to pick for me.
I didn't. Can you give us a moment, ma'am? We'll be right
Certainly.
back while we figure things out.
Of course. She returns back to her things.
Just look at Mal and go, don't scare me like that.
Sorry. I was trying to be subtle. I didn't know if she was... I didn't want her to hear me. You know, I'm gonna press the button in the middle of a schoolyard. That seems like a bad thing to be saying out loud, you know, so...
Yeah, I mean, it was a bad thing to say in my mind.
I was being metaphorical. I was, you know, I can try to, like, beguile her with my arcane powers. I can try to charm her if you guys want. I don't know if we want to risk that. I don't know if you guys want to waste a bunch of time going to try to get permission from a government who doesn't know us.
Conversely, we can also walk past her.
That seems... I mean, I guess that's an option.
And find it ourselves.
I mean, how long before they get us thrown out of this place? Or can we find the information we need before getting thrown out?
How good are you guys at looking through stuff in the library? I don't...
Considering it was my job for about 70 years.
Okay, fair. I guess.
I mean, there are professors here who have, worked with the Cobalt Soul. What if we sought one of them out and either got them to find the information for us or worked out some sort of deal?
I can bribe some kid on her way in. I can be like, hey kid, here's some money. Go find me this. I can do that.
That's an option as well. Children like money.
It's true. They also like booze.
I could be fairly persuasive too. I'd prefer not to rely on students running away with money and not getting what we need.
Fair. Okay. Here's like a kind of middle ground, right? How about me and Seal? We go up kind of on our own. You guys kind of hang back, right? Seal, you take a crack at it. Try to sweeten her up, right? Try to get her to let us in. If she shuts us down, I kind of sneak in with the, how about you do? And I go, boom, and I charm her. And if that fails, okay, then we're in trouble. But the others can run in the commotion. And if it succeeds, then boom. Come on, don't you want to like fucking fuck around and get in trouble? That seems like fun. Or not. Or we just do it well and we get in and get what we want. So win-win.
It's very tempting.
It is. That's what I'm saying. You know, be be young and in college again. Just fuck up. Just make awful choices. It's exactly what we should be doing.
I mean, on a scale from 1 to 10, how badly do we want to come back to Jrusar?
Mrs. Melancholy, I feel like we had wildly different college experiences.
Yeah, I got that read too. To be fair, it's not like I stayed. I kind of dropped out, but whatever. I also didn't attend under my name. I also I dropped out after a month because I wasn't on the books because I was just trying to spy on my sister. I haven't been to college.
Oh.
I finished a PhD.
Okay, whatever. Congratulations, I guess.
I mean, it's okay. Not all of us went to school.
Listen, okay, guys. All right, we don't have to rag on how I haven't been to school. Okay, I have a high school diploma. Okay, I just didn't think secondary. I didn't think higher learning was necessary for me at the point I was at in my life. I can always go back. All right, this doesn't have to be a whole thing. Am I gonna fucking charm this lady or what? What am I doing?
College was just the way that I had to learn my magic. Not all of us have an talent for it.
Oh, I mean,
Not judging
I've
you
also,
for it.
I've learned it. I just didn't spend a bunch of time reading books like a nerd.
Those books are quite informative.
Yeah, I bet.
All right, how about this? We try one more time. Sans magic. Just in case, because you are both affiliated with us. And if that doesn't work, we will regroup and maybe go. I don't want to talk to government officials. I really don't. But if we gotta, we gotta.
I'm rethinking this plan.
Uh-huh.
I'm a lot better at deceiving than I am at
So we gotta come up with a
persuading.
lie. We gotta come up with a lie.
Maybe our paperwork got lost when they were trying to mail it over. Maybe it was intercepted.
Yeah,
And we're
we
here for a
definitely had
conference.
a research request put in months in advance. How
But
could
won't
they
it-
have lost it?
And we're only talking right now because we're confused. It should have been sent
Right.
over already.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Right.
Okay,
Do we
seal.
know any names of people that should have been from? To name drop, maybe?
Oh man, what was the
I
name
don't
of
know
that
anyone.
professor? What was
Rick-
the name of that
Rick-
professor?
Rick's gonna approach the desk again, quickly taking a look around. Is there just like a post? Is there just a sign somewhere that points in general directions? Every university has signs that like library this way, science building that way.
Not in immediate view of this space. Like where you're at, it comes in, there's this front desk, it goes back a bit, and then maybe like 50 feet from where you're standing, there's hallways that go out. There might be signs there, but here from your immediate position, you don't see any.
Okay. Rick will approach the desk and say to the lady behind the desk, "My apologies, how rude of me. We didn't even introduce ourselves. Hello, my name is Rick.
Pleasure to meet you. My name is Rhea. Sorry, Rhea Saipace." She kind of
That's okay.
holds out a hand.
Rick will shake her hand. Rhea, we apologize. We are a little... Well, we're new in the area. We came here because we are looking for information. But obviously you are not going to aid us in this particular endeavor. You mentioned that there were a number of faculty members that had worked with the soul. Would you be willing to provide those names, as I am traveling with several Cobalt Soul members?
Well, I don't...
You may have security escort us there if that would make you more comfortable.
I can go and see if I can fetch that information for you. I don't know them personally. I'm aware that the conservatory has had a working relationship with the soul in the past, but that's about as much as I know. I can ask one of our scribes or other staff to see if I can get you specific names, maybe.
Anything you could do would be greatly appreciated. We came a long way, and we want to make sure we go through proper channels. So, if you can do that for us, we would greatly appreciate that.
Certainly. Give me a moment. And she kind of stands and closes the thing she's working on and briefly steps back through a kind of doorway that was just behind her desk and briefly out of sight. But you notice that the door stays... She disappears behind it, but the door stays open, like if this is the doorway, it's like just a little bit, almost like her foot's holding it open, is what it looks like from here.
So it's cracked a little open, but it looks like her foot's holding it?
Yeah.
Rick will turn around and look at Mal and kind of give a motion like, now's your chance to go. That's it. That's just
Are we going?
Giving the team an opening to go look for a library if they want to.
Are we going?
Somebody will have to pull Nimra. They wouldn't notice subtleties of a key.
No, hence why Rick didn't give it to Nimra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody has to pull them if you're doing this.
Mal, very casually, stretches a little bit, snags Nimra by the sleeve of their robe.
Oh shit! Okay, all right. Let's do it.
We're just gonna take a walk up and back to spot some signs.
Yeah, that's not what Melancholy's going. She's like speed walking into the place. That's what she understood that to be. So she's like, whoop, she's going. Hux, Seal, what are you two doing?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm following.
Okay.
Yep, let's go. Just hurry.
Okay.
We'll tell them we got lost if we get caught.
Okay.
Let's just really hope that Rick is going to be super distracting.
Okay.
Sure he will be.
Give me perception checks, all of you.
Oh god.
No.
This is how we get arrested in Jrusar.
Yeah.
You guys haven't done anything. There was no sign that said banned entry. We asked a question. She said, I'm not going to tell you where it's at. As somebody who has walked over a lot of university campuses, most of them are open and you can go wherever you want.
Oh, yeah. I know ours is an open library.
Yeah.
Yep.
I work at a university.
It was fine.
Would you like a perception check from Rick as well?
No. Not while you're back there.
That's a modified 20.
Ooh.
Okay.
That's a 14.
Also a 14.
With my +1 to perception.
Wow.
Okay. So, as you kind of rush forward and quickly glance around, trying to catch sight of any signage, you do see a sign down one of the hallways that points towards dormitories. 2 more hallways that are unlabeled, but one on the left side you can see goes from here straight ahead into a very massive open library space. There are rows and rows and rows of bookshelves, and a very large vaulted ceiling goes up from there, where you can see in that direction. That's where it opens up into. Pretty self-explanatory, at least. What are you doing now?
Oh. I'm sorry. I zoned out just a little bit. Could you repeat just the last little bit?
Yeah, sorry, I'm sorry.
You saw 3 kind of hallways. One's labeled for student dormitories. There's 2 others that are unlabeled. The one of them on the left side. Down the hall, you can see it opens up into a very large space with rows and rows of bookshelves, students coming in and out. And it extends. You can see the ceiling goes up beyond where you can see from where you are.
That seems like a library.
That seems like a safe bet.
Yeah, we'll start heading that direction.
The door shuts and she steps back out, Rick, and she kind of approaches you and I have asked to see if I can get a couple of names for you.
Wonderful.
See if there are any professors still currently working or currently on campus that might be able to assist you. It might
thank you.
take a little bit of time, but if you and your
That's
friends could... Where are the rest of them?
They
She kinda,
stepped out.
stands and starts looking.
Right, they stepped out. We didn't all need to stand here. They went outside. I stayed here to get the information.
Make a deception check.
Okay. Let me confirm that. Modify 20.
She kind of eyes you for a minute and looks out towards the kind of the open doors that still descend out.
I'm more
Alright.
than willing to wait for those names. Is there a bench around or someplace that I can wait?
Yeah, there's a couple of benches
Cool.
that line this space that you can sit on. Yeah.
Great. Rick'll just point. You do not mind if I just if I just sit. How you said a little while. Is there? I know it is not a waiting room, but is there any reading material?
Not that I can give you, at least. Apologies.
That you know what? You are just doing your job. No problem. I will find a way to entertain myself.
Right. And she sits and kind of returns back to her desk.
Rick will go sit on one of the benches and basically just do recon in the open, right? I want to take a look at students walking in and out, get a sense of how the conservatory works. Who comes to this desk, who walks directly past it, just kind of stuff like that. He's just kind of taking, it's reconnaissance, right? He's just kind of taking general view of sort of how the place runs and functions and stuff. So.
Give me a perception check as well.
Sure, perception's my thing. Well, I mean the passive perception is my thing, but an active perception check is a 25.
Okay. So you take a seat and just start kind of taking in and watching what happens. For a good first stretch, it is mostly just what I described before. Students kind of coming and going, stopping at the desk, asking your questions, asking your things, going in and out of that dormitory hallway, in and out of the other hallways that you see in the back. Kind of standing around in this space, finding places to sit. Some of them just kind of sitting and rapidly poring over books and tomes and notes and stuff and talking to each other. You did catch when you sat down initially. You could see the receptionist, the woman you spoke to, sort of when she sat down and what looked like she was just kind of thumbing through her book some more. You do then notice that she kind of glances up. Her arm shifts and you can see her lips moving silently, she's kind of speaking silently, while looking off in a specific direction, and then just kind of turns back to her things and starts back through it and then speaking to students as they come and go.
Okay.
The rest of you are down the hall.
Can I see what? Hang on.
Mm-hmm.
I can see her lips. What language is it?
What language is it? It's
Yes.
It's just common.
Okay. What did she say?
You have lip reading?
I have the observant feat. I can read lips if it's in a language I can understand.
You can see she 2 wardens to the front, please.
Yeah. I figured she called security. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Okay. The rest of you down the hall into the library space. You've got students moving around you, several of them giving you odd looks, but they don't have time to give a shit and they go back to their things. And when you step in, it is silent in here. An atmosphere of studious anxiety. Several students looking through the shelves, pulling down books, going back to tables, laying them out. You've got just a number of people in this space tending to things, and a couple of staff as well. and you can see closest to you there is a where'd it go? There is a an high elven woman. She's the staff that's closest to you. She's got like olive skin and longer than you've seen on an elf, ears coming to a fine point and dotted with colorful jeweled piercings, and she's dressed in similar kind of style of robe as Rhea was, though colored in blue and white. Beyond her, you can also see a couple of other people, though at a distance their specific features are a little harder to read. There's a halfling in kind of similar formal clothing, and a human as well, kind of moving around in the back and coming in and out of back rooms in this library space. What do you do?
Would there be any sort of like I forgot words for how libraries work. The cards that you use to like search up topics. Dear God.
The Dewey Decimal System for finding like generalized topics.
Like a directory?
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
talking about Oh god, what are those cards called?
I can't remember. I haven't actually been to a library in so long.
We had so
catalog.
many catalog.
Like a catalog.
Wow.
Just to get an idea of how everything's organized without having to talk to someone.
I have no fucking idea what you're talking about, so you're gonna need to tell me what that is.
It's a directory. Right? It's like
Pretty much. Like you can do it on a computer now when you go to the library, but like way back when, like you would have to like sift through stuff and be like, oh, this is how everything's organized.
It's like what, like a box
like
of cards that you can look through, or like how is it? Is it like in the shelves, or is it like a distinct thing that you would go look through?
It's like a distinct thing. It's like what like if you were searching on the computer, like, oh, I want to find Twilight. It shows you, the section and like area where it would be in.
Oh, okay. Yes, there definitely is, though it is currently surrounded by like 10 different people kind of sifting through it right now.
Yeah, Nimra is just gonna go up to the front and speak to the elven woman.
Okay.
Yeah. Huxley's gonna wait in line for the card catalog.
That's fine. Yeah, you can. When you approach her, she kind of finishes putting a book up, and she turns to you and just, hello. Sorry, I didn't see you come up. Apologies. How can I help?
Would you be able to direct me to either your history section or to the mythology and culture section of your library?
Most certainly. Is there a specific book or subject you're looking to study at the moment?
It's quite odd, but it's for a personal research project. I'm just trying to make sure it's as thorough as possible. Would you be able to direct me towards any books or sort of repositories on Rudisborn or mythology corresponding to the moon Rudis?
Certainly. We've got a couple of tomes on Rudis itself, and I believe we've got a couple of books written on a couple of studies that were done on Rudisborn folk in the past. I can take you there. If you wouldn't mind following along. And she'll kind of turn and lead you back further into and you'll all watch Nimra just off they go with this woman further into the library.
Seal's gonna follow.
Okay, fair. She'll lead you to both back, kind of almost to the opposite side of the library itself. Huxley, you are patiently waiting in line. It has moved 2 people. Yep. And in that time, another minute passes, and then, hey man, get the fuck that! They start two kids start like beating at each other, trying to get at this specific card.
Hey!
This is still like 10 people ahead of you, by the way. So it's a bit of a mess. Nimra and
it must be finals week.
And Nimra and Celiana, you are taken to this opposite side of the library, and you see her kind of start running her finger along some of the spines and trying to find her place. And she comes to a point and she kind of stops, and you see there's kind of clearly a book or two missing where the books are kind of slumped over where a book has been removed. Apologies. Looks like this might be checked out. Let me confirm with the front and make sure it might just be here in the library. Give me just a moment. If you could wait for me by the entrance where you were, I'll be right back around. And she'll kind of quickly bow and start making her way now towards the front, but off to this kind of sort of desk space where you saw the other staff members kind of cataloging things and moving in and out of a back room. And a couple minutes pass, and the others, you'll see her come up and speak to someone who's behind the desk, and kind of that person goes and looks and checks through something and then says something back, and she starts making her way back. In that time, the two kids have been kicked out and yelled at by every other student in the library, and they are now shouting at each other in the hallway. And the line has moved another 2 people forward. She makes her way back around to you. The good news is looks like it's still in the library. It has not been checked out, which means it's likely in the hands of one of the students currently here. I've let the woman at the front desk know that you're interested in looking at it, just to maybe give you a chance to take a quick look if the person is checking it out. But you are welcome to take a look around. I kindly ask that you don't, if you find a student deep in their studies, try not to bother them too much, but I'm sure it won't be a problem if you politely ask to just give it a look over, or ask them if they plan to take it, so you know whether or not you need to wait around.
Thank you kindly. I didn't quite catch your name.
My name is my children walking in the room. Yes?
What an interesting name.
Yes,
How do
you
spell
can,
that?
baby. Be right back.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh,
It's spelled MIKHE. Children. My children just what? It's got to be 4 or 5 names, right?
You can use a Q instead of a CH too.
Ooh,
Yeah.
nice. Okay, so yeah,
Mhm.
so like MIQ.
Hello. Sorry. She really needed water, and she can't reach
Yeah,
the sink.
my children.
Gonna use that one.
I'll write that down. I'll use that at some point for sure. Anyway, sorry. She kind of she nods. My name's Lorelai Meiji. I'll write out her name for you also.
I'll just continue browsing and hope that I can find the student. Your
My
help
pleasure.
has been invaluable.
Of course. You'll want to look for their sorry. You'll want to look for he's a young man, a human. He's got they pointed him out to me. He's got kind of short blonde hair. He's somewhere in the kind of main table area, seated, taking a look through it.
Thank you yet again. You're
Of course.
invaluable.
My pleasure. Have a good day now. And she'll
Yes.
now make her way back to where she was originally, near the front, kind of tending to the books and putting them away. Huxley, you are 2 people closer. Like 3 left.
Well, Miss Shaw, do we want to harass a child, or do we want to continue looking around?
I don't see anything wrong with seeing how invested they are with a book. Maybe it's just sitting on the table.
Okay. Then we shall go.
Okay. Make your way back around to the front where most of the students are seated. At
Should
that
we
point,
grab Huxley and
you see them, and Melancholy's like rocking on her feet and her heels, going back and forth. And at some point, she like leans in. Huxley, our library's always this fucking boring. Do we have to stand in line?
Yeah.
This
Look, I
sucks.
hate talking to people. I will do anything I can to avoid talking to someone.
Oh, I get
But
that.
this is wearing on my patience.
This sucks. Yeah, you can see. I'm assuming.
I mean, how about that fight?
Mal, I'm assuming you were with them in this time as well. With
Yeah.
Hux? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you can see them slowly struggling to make their way up to the front of the line by the entrance. Because, like, how this is laid out, you step in, there's shelves immediately to your left, the little catalog, and all of the tables where the students sit to your right. More shelves forward, and then further to the right from where the seating is that desk sort of backspace area where the staff work. So you can see them waiting patiently while you've done stuff up near the front.
Can I just look around, try to spot the person that
Yeah.
Lorelai mentioned?
Perception check, please.
Yes, please. Thank you. Nimra won't pass it.
Ooh, dirty 20.
Yeah, you can spot him mostly because when you peruse the collection of people here, there is, like the city itself, a diverse array of people. You see a number of humans as well as elves and dwarves and gnomes, halflings and half-orcs and ice fura as well. And mixed in among them, there is a single human with blonde hair. Only one. So he kind of sticks out like a sore thumb, right? Kind of near the kind of periphery of the students that are working. He's at a table. There's maybe one other person a little ways down from him. And he's seated and laid out in front of him he's got like a number of papers and like an inkwell and a quill pen and two books, one of them that he's got open that he's pouring through and the other one beside, and he's got next to him a small little like wooden model of what, when you look at it, you realize it's a little model of Katha and Ruidus that are just kind of that are sitting there, and you see him just sitting there like this, and then he'll just, my hand's not on camera, he'll just flick it and it'll spin, and he'll just keep working, and then he just and back to his things.
It's a fidget. I won.
But yeah, you do see him. He stands out. You can see him.
Okay, cool. It looks like both of the books are in use right now.
One's closed. The other one, he's like flipping through it. He's got two books in hand.
Okay.
One of them's not actively open right now, though.
Great. I will point that out to the group. I'm not sure if they are currently looking at the book that we are after, but it's worth a shot. Maybe take turns.
Push comes to shove. We can always ask if he has any information for us. If he's an academic, he might be interested in sharing some of his findings, or he might be knowledgeable on the topic, enough for us to learn from him. Maybe he's amenable.
Obviously knows about moons.
Right you are. And Nimra's gonna walk over.
Okay. Yeah, when you come up, he doesn't seem to react. You don't know if he didn't notice you, if he doesn't care, but he is still poring over the book and then just flick, and he's just still in the zone. So
Nimra will also pull out one of their research tomes and begin at least getting prepared to write. And they'll say, "Excuse me, you, human man with the blonde hair, sorry to interrupt you, but I was told that you might have a book that I was looking for. If you might be able to share some of your knowledge with me."
Huh? Oh, Sorry, I didn't. I wasn't paying attention. Did you say something?
Hello. I'm on a research project, and I'm looking for a specific book that I was told that you might have. Either if I can read the book if you're not using it, or if you can talk to me about it. We're both academics.
What was the book you're looking for?
I was looking for a book on Rudis.
Oh, yeah. I've got this one. And he keeps his thumb on the page. Are the rest of Huxley and Mal? Did you two go over there with them, or no? Are you still in the line?
I think Huxley
Are we,
would have
like,
stayed in the
locked in?
line unless they'd been like, "Hey, we got a thing."
Okay. Mal, you?
Yeah, I think I'll hang out in line with Huxley.
Okay.
Until
Okay.
I am dismissed.
Okay. He closes the book, keeps his thumb on the page not to lose it, and he kind of turns it to show you, and you see the title on the book is A Study of Superstitions. This is quite fascinating, really. This is a study of Rudis-born, not so much children, but younger than me. They were this and this other one, and he shows you the other book is titled Of Gods and a Red Moon, and he starts to explain this. Therefore, a personal research project of mine is outside of my studies and my major, but I just find this sort of thing fascinating. I'm sorry. He kind of flicks the little model again and stops for a moment. There's this one is a study of Rudis-born, which was done over 10 years, and on a couple of people who were known to be Rudis-born, sort of to see the validity of the superstitions that people have about Rudis-born. See if there's any sort of noticeable, trackable, tangible sort of truth to the bad luck, the bad omens that Rudis-born bring, that sort of thing. I've just started it, really. And this one is very fascinating. It's about a historical figure, a demigod from the calamities, the Apotheon, and his story. And he was Rudis-born, and his involvement with the gods and the calamity and what happened, and sort of the events that created the Ramadan desert here in Marquette. It's quite fascinating. All this stuff is new to me. I'm not from here. I'm from Wildmount natively, but I came here to study this sort of thing. I was directed here by my professors back home, and it's all quite interesting.
As soon as Seal hears Apotheon, she's just gonna be like, "Oh, I know who we need to grab over here." So she's just gonna be like, "Hey, Huxley, Mal,
you will get
come
like
on over here."
100 immediately from everybody in the hall in the library.
I'll
I was just like,
see what they're looking for.
I guess they, yeah, it's, we can. We've been waiting in line. All right.
Rick, at this point, you can see Rhea kind of look up and clearly, like, frustration on her face, say something to herself, and you can read, "What the fuck is taking so long?" And she gets up and kind of steps into the back briefly.
Okay. Rick's gonna step up to the desk.
Okay. She's out of sight for now, but you'll wait there for her to come back.
I'll wait for her. Yeah.
Okay, got it. But yes, you the other two, you can walk up, and you see. Oh, hello, hi, and he flicks the thing again.
Sorry, what's your name? This.
Emric. My name is Emric. Brooks.
Emric.
Yes.
He's studying the Apotheon.
Oh.
Yes.
How interesting. We.
You can see a look of realization coming over his face, and he looks
Familiar with this subject?
noticeably starstruck in the moment. He very clearly recognizes you guys. He just, no fucking way. Is it really
we
you
try
guys?
we're trying not to advertise it. So
Okay,
who could
yeah, okay, so
put them in
quiet
the
as a
you know?
mouse. Yeah.
You might be able to see why we have a vested interest in this project.
Oh, this must be very serious. Holy shit. Okay, there's, here, okay, if you don't keep the book, I would take it. And he just kind of dog ears the page. I'm so sorry. And he dog ears the page and he closes it and passes it over to you guys. And then.
No, we don't need to take it for that long. I have an eidetic memory. I just need to be able to see each one of the pages and I should be able to recall it.
Okay, yeah, sure. Go ahead, go through it. And here's this one as well. And he hands you both of them. And he just kind of sits back. He's like, wow. And he flicks the thing again. This is so cool. He starts writing something down.
Would you? I mean, what is are you just researching this for fun, or is this,
Well, it's for fun, sort of. There's, I'm from Wildmount. I lived in Zadash, and I attended school at the Hall of Erudition. And while I was there, I was working part-time at Bears and Ends, and I was studying sort of history, really. That was my subject of fascination. And my professor noted my interest in Rudis and its distinction from Casa and its history. And he suggested that if I wanted to travel a bit and maybe delve into the subject further, he suggested I come this way. So about 2 years ago, I came here. I got here to Jrusar, and I did a whole bunch of work to try and get work with the Mahan houses to get admissions, and then I sort of stayed and I've started schooling here, and I have other things I'm studying. Sort of my major's in historical studies and specifically studies of the founding and the calamity, but it's very early going, and I still don't have my associates or anything. It's a long ways away. I'm only 22, so, but
oh, wow.
this is it's a personal project of mine. I imagine in the long run, when it comes time to do a thesis paper, I'll be writing it on Ruidus and that sort of subject. Yes.
Well, I'll have to ask permission, but while we have some time, if you would like, I may be able to have Alexian answer a couple of your questions if you'd like.
Oh, that wow, a personal one-on-one, that'd be crazy. Yes, there was a couple of months ago, I was lucky enough to attend a talk he gave here at the conservatory. He was here for a brief time.
Wow.
Yes, he thought it was a big deal. A bunch of people had seen him exploring Jrusar, and the conservatory left on it. I remember hearing from some of my friends and stuff. The staff would be sort of like obsessed. They needed him to speak to us, and he was very nice. He came and he talked to us. He had a whole thing at the Dreamscape Theater, and we sat and listened, and people got to ask him questions, and I didn't get to ask him any questions. So I think that would be really nice. That would be great. I think, yeah.
I'm gonna open up my book, and of the 4 people that I can send sending to, one of them is Alexian.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's Mal, Alexian, Terrace, and Fennel.
Yeah.
Are the 4 that I have.
No.
I'm gonna write a quick just to Alexian.
Mm-hmm.
I am with a student at the Starpoint Conservatory who I can send to sending as many times as I want.
Okay,
So
okay, that's right.
Yeah, it's unlimited sending. I just have to write it in my book.
I'm just so used to the book just being a conversation that I forgot that it was technically sendings back and forth.
Yeah. He is very enthusiastic about asking a couple of questions. Would you mind answering a couple if you're free right now?
And yeah, you get a response back. Huxley, it is excellent to hear from you again. I was there not too long ago. Several students asked me questions, but I can imagine the frustration with missing the chance. I'm not doing much right now. I'd be happy to.
Oh, wonderful. We will have to catch up soon. I hope you're doing well. I'm glad you are living your best life right now.
Likewise. Me and Fennel have been seeing the world. It's quite nice. She's a good companion.
Oh, lovely. I'm going to hand it over. The handwriting, I mean, I don't know how it's on your end, but handwriting will be different.
Understood.
I'm going to supervise this child because this is my special book, but I will let him write in it, and he can send as many messages to Elixian as he would like while we were in the process of reading, or Nimma's reading this book.
Oh my God, that is so cool! Wow. Okay, all right. Okay, let me see. So I just write in this, and he can hear it. How do I know it's him?
Yes. I mean, this is I can't necessarily prove it, but
I mean, I trust you.
People...
You saved him. That's pretty good. I believe it. So okay, all right.
I guess.
And he'll just start. He just starts writing, and you see he's written out like 4 questions before Elixian gets to answer anything. But they do kind of have like a brief back and forth. He asks him how being Ruidus born affected him in his youth, how he formed the relationship he had with the gods, how he feels about it after everything's happened, how he feels being a mortal man after all those kind of travels and that difficulty, and if he ever felt any kind of anything specific out of Ruidus. Like he asks him about Ruidus almost like he assumes that Ruidus is its own entity. Like he asks if he feels anything from Ruidus, if he drew power from Ruidus, if he sent like all that sort of thing. And you see Elixian kind of going back and forth, explaining a lot of the stuff that you guys learned in trying to save him and seeing his memories. And then on the Ruidus stuff, he kind of circles back and says that he the most he felt from Ruidus was anguish in his youth, and then in his centuries of imprisonment, he feels like he isn't sure whether to blame Ruidus or himself at this point for the way his emotions manifested what they were. He knows the Ruidium is a direct result of Ruidus, but he doesn't. He's responding to these questions, treating Ruidus like an object, and clearly, the psych read you get on him and reading over this kid's shoulders that Elixian is still battling with whether to blame himself or to continue to blame the moon for what he did and what he was when that was happening. And you can quickly see the kid's tone change in his questions and be like, oh shit, I don't want to upset him. And he kind of changes the subject and stuff a bit towards the end, but they're having a very productive back and forth. And in that time, Nimra, you're able to peruse through this book and flip through it and see what it says. The Of Gods and a Red Moon is pretty straightforward. It is historical text on the Apothean, and kind of what was known about him and his story and his involvement with the Calamity and everything. It's not anything that anyone here would be unaware of, because at this point, Mal, Huxley, and Rick have all kind of learned this stuff in their dealings with him. So this isn't necessarily, it might be new to you, but it isn't really new to the group in general. Though the other book, A Study of Superstitions, it's a bit more productive. It details a number of tests done on different Ruidus-born peoples over the years, some more successful than others. And this study in particular was conducted out of the conservatory by Professor Isaac Daywisher. I will write that name out here for you. He conducted this study with 3 people. Nico Thatch. I'm going to write each of these names out as well.
We appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. A Nico Thatch, a Laurel Westmere, and a Camilla Amare. Those 3 are named as kind of subjects of this specific study. They were tracked and monitored for over a decade of their lives, essentially to determine if there was any validity to the superstitions around Ruidus-born people. As uninvasively as possible, they were monitored and watched over to see if there was like if they had particularly bad fortune in their lives, if bad things seemed to happen to them more often, if like both from a very low down level, like did they do disproportionately bad at games of chance, all the way up to like did significant tragedy befall them more often than others, like on a wide scale over this period of time. And it details a couple of things. For Nico, there isn't too much that comes of this. Nico seems to have lived roughly a normal life. From beginning to end of the study, at some point during the study, he became a student at the conservatory. And the study kind of notes towards the end that he lives in Jrusar, and he's kind of withdrawn from this academic field, almost kind of voluntarily leaving it. But during the study, he didn't showcase anything of note. Laurel Westmere and Camilla Amare are both people who had kind of magical talent to a degree. There were studies done to see whether these were amplified or affected, apart from the regular stuff that was done. Not too much seemed to come of it. There are notes near the end of the details of the study's results, where Camilla seemed to, in like testimonial and interviews with her, note that she felt she didn't know whether it was being Ruidus born or whether she'd spent 10 years being studied because she's Ruidus born, but she feels like it is affecting her in some capacity. The study fails to note why, because it's kind of like her magical ability was inconsistent and oftentimes would go dormant, and it would be difficult to like essentially the study was desperately looking for threads to pull on to confirm her suspicions and couldn't really find any. And Laurel's kind of similar, though the information on Laurel kind of trails off earlier because it seems that her magical ability is much more subdued, much less significant than Camilla's. Camilla was noted to display very intense magical capabilities and arcane power in her time in the study as well. Though it is noted that both Laurel and Camilla, either that they left effectively Jrusar when the study concluded. Camilla had done some traveling during the study, but most of the study took place in Jrusar. Nico's still here. Laurel and Camilla seem to have left, though where to, Camilla declined to specify. Like there is a note specifically that she said she did not want to say where she was going. And Laurel mentioned possibly going to Wildmount, but at the moment was likely going to head down to Eos, where her kind of comments in interviews and stuff near the end of this book. And it kind of concludes with a sort of like, like essentially a note to follow this up specifically with individuals tuned into magic, especially natural born magic that doesn't come from study, like Camilla's, and see if a disproportionate amount of those people might be Ruidus born, or if how flares might affect them, and stuff like that. It is noted also in the study there is a specific incident that is noted kind of at the halfway point of the studies, like the 5 or 6 year mark, where a Ruidus flare occurred, and Camilla's almost like ability seemed amplified by it. It was the only one they noted with her, so it was kind of written as like maybe relevant, maybe a coincidence. Like, we want to try to get her and a Ruidus flare at the same time again, but that didn't manifest in the rest of the study's time. But it seemed at least to have an effect on her magic at the time. I know there was a lot, so if there's specifics you need repeated, I'll repeat it. But yeah, that's what that one consists of.
Yeah, I just want to make a note that as Nimra is probably reading this, they're probably furiously writing down in shorthand and taking proper citations of page numbers in accordance with this at the same time.
Yeah, that's totally fair. Refer back to it whenever
For later
needed.
research purposes.
For formatting later, so they can fully write it out.
Good.
Because for at least 1 month, they will have a perfect recall of this. At least.
Gotcha.
So,
We love a nerd.
we love a nerd indeed.
Nerd boss.
Oh, and then his name was
Whose?
Emmerich.
Yes, the student was Emmerich.
Emmerich. Do you happen...
Yes.
Have you heard anything about some of the people in these studies?
I don't. There's. I don't know anything about this Laurel or this Camilla, but I know this. I asked a bit about the staff here if they knew Nico, because it says he was a student here. They said he lives in the core spire, so he's a bit to himself. They asked me that if I wanted to go see him, maybe approach him with a letter first. So I did. I sent him a letter and asked if I could talk to him, but I haven't heard back. But I know he lives in the city still. That's all I know of them. So
Curious. That might be an avenue we will pursue. Thank you, Emmerich, for letting me read these books. And then Nimra's gonna slide them back to him, now having appropriately taken notes and memorized whatever information they could.
he takes it back. Thank you, and thank you so much, Mr. Rose, for letting me see the books. That was very nice. That was so formative. Nobody else is going to be able to write half the shit I can write with this now. This is great.
You're very welcome. I'm always happy to help a young man in academia.
Yes, thank you. Oh, this was very great. And tell him thank you as well. He kind of quickly he goes to say thank you a bunch before he closes the book and hands it back to you.
There's a page of sloppy thank yous.
Yeah. And he kind of I'm happy I was able to help. Hopefully whatever business you're up to goes well, I hope. And he kind of stops for a minute and he's like, how did you get in here, by the way?
Don't
You
worry
didn't
about that.
see us.
He's gonna so at this time, Rick, you see a pair of individuals come in through the front doors. Clearly town guard phenotype, right? Like they come in and you can recognize them. And they kind of approach the front desk and speak to her, and they block her from view. But you see her hand out from behind them, and they turn and they start going towards the hallway where the library is.
Okay.
And in that moment, as they kind of turn the corner, you all see he rolled really well. You see him, like Emmerich, kind of look past you and just, oh shit, okay, very quiet. He looks up at you guys very quietly. Walk past me, behind me. There is a door on the far side of the library. It opens up to the hallway. You turn left, it will take you out to the front campus. It's a park. It is a closed-in outdoor sort of study space. I think you all saved the demigod. I'm sure you can hop a fence. So just get around, get over there and hop the fence. You do not want to piss the wardens off. I'm guessing they're here for you. Do not turn around. There are two wardens of the Shandecorum on their way over here. Start moving briskly, please.
Thank you.
I will cast Pass Without a Trace.
Okay, and he will stand and he will kind of look at you guys. He's like, I've always wanted to be an adventurer. And he takes he takes the two books and he kind of walks past you I'll do it for Mel too. All of you give me a stealth check, please. +10 from Pass Without Trace.
Okay, +10.
Ooh, they needed that.
Ruby, God bless this child.
He's so sweet, isn't he?
That's gonna be a 17.
Okay.
I got a 30.
Okay.
Oh,
Nice.
I got a
26.
16.
16. You got how
I'm
much,
not the
Mel?
only one.
26.
23 for Melancholy. So you get up and you quickly speed walk as quietly as you can, and you can hear behind you, and if you glance back, you'll see him get his books and start walking on a direct intercept course with the wardens. And you just hear like a crashing of body into armor, stumbling. What the fuck? And then like books hitting the floor and just, oh my god, I'm so sorry. That was my bad, my son. Let me help you up. Oh my god, I'm so sorry, Mr. Warden. Let me help you up. And he's like, he smashed into them basically. He's trying to help them get up. You all make your way back quickly, quietly, just out of sight, back through the door he was able to point out for you. And you're out into a hallway that, again, left. You can head that way, and you can see it opens up into like an outdoor space where there's lots of seating and awnings and umbrellas for people to sit under, and a fence that seals it in. And all of you give me dex checks, please, as you attempt to traverse over it.
Checks are
Oh my
saves.
god.
Checks.
Oh.
That's gonna
17.
18.
I rolled a 19.
be 22.
Nice.
What is this?
I rolled a 19.
I rolled a
The dice have
17.
spoken.
I rolled a 4 last turn.
All of you,
I also rolled a 4. Or no, I rolled a... Yeah, no, I rolled a 4.
quickly, one after the other, you kind of file in, and people like don't even notice you. You just silently move between them. One over first, Nimra up and over, Celiana, then Mal, then Huxley, and then shit. She rolled a 6, and Melancholy is dangling by the back of her clothes, hooked on the fence, and she's just kind of like dangling on your side of the fence, like, can somebody lift me and get me off without
grab
tearing
her
a huge
by the
hole?
legs and
Oh shit!
give
Wow,
her a
you're
boost
strong.
down.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Let's get the fuck out of here. And she will kind of quickly put her hands up. Rick, emergency, Rick. We ran away. We left. We're running. Fuck. Bye.
And,
we left.
Quick, do I see any food stalls around here?
Yeah, for sure. Like, there are not food stalls. There's like stalls. They're not. There's stalls, not food stalls. There's like There's like kind of almost like a newspaper stall just outside of the place itself. But that's kind of the only thing you see.
Yeah, I will scoot by super fast, pick up a paper, drop a couple silver into the tray, tuck it under my arm, and head back towards the group. Let's go retrieve Rick from our little stroll.
Okay, all right. I sent him a message, but I have no idea if it made any sense. So, probably a good idea. Yeah, you guys can.
I will also send a message to Rick on our way back. It's fine. We got out.
And Rick, what are you doing?
You. Oh wait, message requires actually speaking. Yeah, I don't.
No, this is sending, isn't it? Or Melancholy's was sending. That one you can reply to.
Melancholy's was sending
telepathically,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah, pass without a trace would still apply.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's 10 minutes.
Mhm.
Do we want it up?
It's an hour.
I'm assuming we're gonna drop it by the time we get back in, right?
No, it lasts like an hour, so you've got plenty of time.
It's concentration.
That's more.
Oh yeah,
than
I guess
asking.
so. Yeah.
If we want it to still be up when we're back in.
Yeah, just walk in and shadows are just clinging to you.
Yeah, totally normal. Nothing to see here.
Okay, so you drop it when you get back around?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so as you approach the front steps and head in through the front doors, Rick, your companions come back in from the front side. Melancholy's
Yeah.
like, come on.
I think like on the message from I think on the message from Mel, Rick will get up and go to the desk where Rhea is. Excuse me, Rhea. I'm just wondering how much longer you figure those names will be.
I mean, if you needed if it's urgent, I can rehab it. It's that they're reaching out to professors who are sort of in their classes. It's early in the day, you know.
Of course, yes.
If they know them, they might need to look them up or something. It might. I was hoping somebody would be free, but it might take. I couldn't say. If you need it now, I can try to get somebody to sort of.
No, I have. Really, honestly, I have all day. This is extremely important, and I am willing to wait. Do I believe her on this? Has she actually asked for these names? Okay. Nice. 15. Wait.
Yeah.
I
mean, as far as you can tell, yeah, like her kind of her. What's the word? Her apologeticness about not having the information for you quicker seems genuine, at least.
Sure.
Which would lead you to believe that she's actually asked, though it's also not hard to read that she's kind of like waiting for the wardens to come back to tell her if your friends are in there or not.
Sure.
So.
Which I think then on Mal's message, knowing that they're coming back, Rick's going to go, just out of curiosity, I assume you sent the two wardens in that direction because you did not believe me. Is that the direction of the library?
And she kind of smiles at you for a minute. And just...
No, I entirely understand. I get it, especially somebody who looks like me. I can entirely understand how you might not take me at my word. That is fine. I don't fault you. I just...
It's less that I didn't take you at your word. It's more that I can't risk not double-checking. There are consequences for me for doing my job poorly.
I understand. I just... you could have been a little bit more forthright. I mean, am I really that scary?
No.
You could have just said, listen, I'm going to invite some wardens over to investigate because I am worried about my job. I understand that. I'm not an insensitive man. And he's going to kind of just chat her up until the rest of his party walks through the front door.
Okay.
I don't think it's too much longer before we're back.
No, yeah. She kind of like... she listens to you go, and before she's able to get a word in, the others kind of step in, and you can all see Rick at the front door. And she kind of glances over in your direction, and she just... It's not about whether or not you're scary. It's about the fact that my bosses are scary. I assure you, it's fine. It's just a little extra certainty on my part.
Any word? We went to look for a breakfast place, but we didn't find any. So I got this paper. Figured we would check out what's going on in the city while we're here.
Yes, most definitely. I am waiting on some information. Riza here was kind enough to try to get some names for us. So
yes, we were for some of those professors that we were looking at. I was asking around some of the students when we were trying to look for breakfast, and I was told that a Professor Nico Thatch might be a professor that we can ask for. If you wouldn't mind adding that to your list.
No, I know that name. Nico Thatch was a student here for a couple of years. He was involved with some sort of tie-in study. You'd recall Daywisher was the professor. Thatch was one of the students. was one
Oh,
of the...
damn.
Yeah. Yeah, you did just say you identically memorized it,
Nimra
so I'll
wouldn't
let
make
you...
that mistake,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'll let you walk that back. I thought you were trying to deceive her in some way. So
No,
I was like,
the
okay, yeah.
player has a... The player
Gotcha,
doesn't have a
gotcha.
good memory. The character, I regret to inform you, does.
It's Isaac Daywisher was the professor. So assuming
I
that's
thought
what
Nico
you...
was also said that he was staff.
No, Nico Thatch, Laurel Westmere, and Camilla Amare were the 3 subjects of the study that Professor Daywisher conducted in Jrusar. But yes, you mentioned Daywisher to her, and she unfortunately, Professor Daywisher hasn't been a member of faculty here at the conservatory for going on 2 years, I believe, if I recall correctly. At first it was assumed to be a sort of retirement thing, but it seemed like he might have left for a different position at another institution, though he didn't exactly give a 2 weeks notice. I remember it caused quite a row amongst the higher staff when he sort of up and disappeared, but as far as I know, I'm not sure where he might be. He might still be in the city, but I doubt it. I feel like the rumors of him attending the university across the road would have reached my ears if he stayed at the Ascension's Rise or something similar, so I imagine he might not be in Jrusar any longer. At least not in an academic field here.
Oh.
I can ask around. I can add that to the list. Is there somewhere you folks are staying in the city that I might send this information, or would you like to come back at a certain time? I'm not sure the time it will take me to recover it.
Let's see. You don't have a recommendation for places we could stay? I mean, we just got here this morning, so we haven't arranged our accommodations yet. We haven't had breakfast yet.
I suppose it might depend on your taste and your budget. There's a number of taverns and inns for travelers throughout the city. The Airy Spire is less the place for that. This is more... this is the site of the schools and the parlor of the collective. This is a place for offices for the city's designers and engineers and the like, as well as the skyport. You're more likely to find suitable accommodations probably on the core spire or elsewhere, even the Lantern Spire possibly. A quite popular spot in the core spire is the Spire by Fire Inn. That one's quite popular. There's the Sutton Swill. There's what was its name? The Weary Way Tavern in the Lantern Spire as well. There's all options. Probably the closest to here is the core spire. Though if you want a less busy place in the Spire by Fire, I could imagine that. There's a number of them, though their names elude me. I don't go elsewhere besides the conservatory and home most days. But those are all options.
Well, thank you for the recommendation.
Of course.
Rick will turn to his party. Do we think we are going to be staying and needing accommodations?
There's a good chance.
We have some loose ends to tie up, some more information to look into outside of this area. Once we get word of what professors we can talk to.
We've got the time, it can't hurt to spend a little extra here.
Okay. Well, we should probably let our chauffeur know that we will be sticking around a couple more days. Or at least one more day. You all should probably head out, or at least some of you, and set up accommodations. I'm going to need a little bit of help with the toll for the gondola headed back to the horse fire. And he turns back to Rhea. He says, if it is not a problem, I will wait for those names.
Certainly. I'll try to get them to get a move on so you're not waiting around too long.
I appreciate you. You are lovely.
Of course. And she kind of...
I transfer some coins into a pouch and I hand it over to Rick.
Okay.
She'll kind of give you a little nod and turn back to kind of head into the back room to see if she can't get a hold of somebody.
While you guys are having this conversation, Nimra had already pulled out the book and was writing to Haster that thank you for waiting around for us, but we will be staying for a few days longer.
Not a problem, darling. Call me when you need me.
I wanna follow up on that so bad.
Do it. Indulge in every temptation.
Nimra is going to write into the very public journal that everybody else can see.
The Discord server. Yeah.
I'll hold you to that. I'm still waiting on dinner.
And if you could imagine a is typing thing kind of like almost present, like you see like an ink blot on the page as he held the pen there and started to write. Oh, well, I was waiting on your call. That's how the deal works. You give me a time and a place, and I'll be there.
Nimra will write back. Do you have any preferences, or if not, it seemed like you had good accommodations at your castle.
I prefer to call it a palace, but that's all right. No,
Your palace was
I
lovely.
haven't perused mortal delicacies in quite a while. I think I'd like something from where you're from. Surprise me.
I'll ask around. Tonight?
Tonight
7
works.
p.m.?
7 p.m. I'm so happy this is happening. I'm so happy this is happening. It's great.
I love how you're like, this is the most sexless group, and now Nimra's seducing.
We're making. Hey, listen.
Seducing.
This is.
The first time
I
I've
got my
literally-
wish.
In my 7 years of playing D&D, the first time I've ever had a character go after an NPC.
What can I say?
Research.
What can I say?
For research.
Sure.
My NPCs are
for
irresistible.
research.
I might need a minute. This is a lot.
So, as you walk and you can occasionally check and see this conversation happening in the book.
I am not looking at this conversation.
I don't. As soon as you open the first, you're like, oh nope, that's not for me to read.
Oh. I thought it was Eggy. Nope.
Wrong book. You can all head out of the conservatory, and I presume now, Rick, you mentioned the core spire. Is that where you guys want to go? You guys want to head back there?
That seemed to be what she recommended in terms of finding accommodations.
Okay. Yeah, she gave
That's
you.
also
So that's where he
that
pushed the
Nico
group.
person was.
That's true. Yes, Nico Thatch and I believe 2. I gotta check again. 2 of the taverns she recommended were there. Yes. Can I help you?
I thought when Nimra was asking for a book to communicate with him, that it would be private. And for the whole group.
Sorry, what?
Yeah, he made that clear, not only to you all, but to Rick as well.
What did he make clear? I missed that.
That it's an open chat room.
Oh yes, it is.
Yeah, when Nimra was first asking, they thought it would be sort of like with what Huxley and Aggie had. You know, where it was a personal one-to-one.
Well, to be fair, you asked for that before the dinner thing was set up, so he did not at all consider that you'd want personal communication. So he's like, "Sure, we can all talk." So if you want to ask him for his number, that's
I need a
up to you.
personal chat.
Can I have your
please.
number? When I dial into the hells, what's your extension? Direct extension? I don't want to
I
talk
don't
to
wanna-
switchboard. No.
No.
Okay, yeah. So she gave you 3 places across 3 different spires. The spire by fire on the core spire, the Weary Way Tavern on the Lantern Spire, or there's actually two, so I'll just give you them both: the Soot and Swill, or the Take It or Leave It on the Smolder Spire. So whichever name sounds like fun. Core Spire is closest to you. You know you just came from there. There is another gondola connection to a different spire, though you're not sure which one that is. So you can ask around, but you've got two to go to. And like was pointed out, Nico, as far as you're aware, Nico Thatch lives somewhere on the Core Spire as well.
Are there any nice restaurants?
You can look around.
It's gonna be so interesting, because whatever Nimra considers nice will probably not be what Haster considers nice at all. Nobody but Celiana has tried what Nimra considers good food.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. You're the slop you eat for breakfast. Yeah, I forgot.
Mm-hmm. Extremely nutritional, not tasty.
Good to know.
They would be the person that would have like AG1 athletic greens for like as a meal supplement.
Yeah, I can see that.
You would have like the meal in a can.
Nimra drinks Soylent.
Exactly.
Yep.
100. No, Nimra drinks Soylent. That is their rations.
Oh God.
Fair. Canon.
You should never have them cook for you guys.
Yeah, no. It's awful. It's terrible, really. Okay, so then... Alright, so then we'll head back to the Core Spire, yes, if I understand correctly.
Yeah.
You guys can make your way back the way you came. Find the gondola again as it first arrives and stops in place and people disembark. Hand over the 2 silver toll per piece, or per person, per piece. And the same halfling that was there before, it's only been maybe an hour and change since you got here, will allow you back on. And again, the automaton will start cranking and you'll feel the whoa as the whole thing kind of lurches into motion and slowly starts descending. And it occasionally hits a little snag and bumps and moves and continues kind of clicking its way down. As you're going down, okay, so what are we doing now? Are we going to find a place to stay? Or like, are we, or what are we doing?
Well, the Spire by Fire was recommended to us. It's early enough in the day that, I mean, I'm sure they have some rooms and we can set up our base of operations there and see about getting more information on this Nico Thatch.
Do you want me to go try to like look around, try to find him?
Sure.
I don't have any connections here, but I'm good at like looking for things.
Yeah, and you can let us know if you find it. Apparently, he's kind of reclusive, so.
Yeah. I'll see what I'll see what I can figure out. Yeah, you guys go in, find a place at that fire spire or whatever, and I'll go looking for I'll see what I can find, and I'll send you a message if anything. Or we have the book. I forget we have the book. I'll tell you. I'll tell you. And she like opens it. I'll tell you. I'll tell you about it. That seems private, actually. And she opens it and immediately starts reading it. And she keeps talking, like pausing occasionally while she's reading it. Yeah, I'll just. I'll write if I find anything. I'll tell you where to meet me and stuff. Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, Nim. I suggest someplace that looks expensive. He seemed like to have real kind of like douchey rich guy taste, so like that would be my impression. You wanna? So I don't know what you're after, right? But basically, here's a game plan I suggest. Kind of look. I don't know this place, so I don't know if there's any here. If you have to go somewhere else, but look for a place where the door looks like it costs as much as the salary of one of the people who work there, right? And then when you take him there, if don't get too much. Order like a single course and like some champagne, and then when it's mostly done, find a bathhouse and seal the deal, right? That's it. It's all. It's like it's foolproof. The champagne gets you in the kind of mood to steam off, you know.
What is the deal that I'm sealing?
I don't know what you're after with this.
We already have a contract for dinner in exchange for information. I don't understand.
She'll look to like Celiana. Are they fucking serious?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe don't go for the bathhouse idea. That might be too forward. Just if I will say, okay, if it's going badly, you can suggest you both go to a bathhouse to just kind of relax. That's it. If you think it's going poorly, if you've upset him or something, but otherwise, just an expensive place and like some champagne. I think that'll be good.
So I have to go cater to his tastes, not my own.
Yes, that would.
But then how would he get to know my personality without knowing my taste? Isn't that this whole thing a learning process?
So, in my experience, what you want to do is, some people call it love bombing. I don't know if I would go that far, but you want to indulge in his interests and his tastes and learn about him, because like that's what you want, right? You want to like learn about him. You want to get as much out of him as possible. What you want, you've won when he asks you where you want to go. Okay? Because this is like strictly business. But the day you get one of these dinners and he's like, how about we go somewhere you would like? And then, when that happens, you're fucking in. It's done. You've got everything you want, When a man is at the point where he's acknowledged you have interests, it's done. He's in your pocket.
But he couldn't fit in my pocket.
It's not a fucking literal. I mean, yeah, sure. He can't fit in your pocket. No, he can't. He can't do that. All right, I'm gonna go look for this guy.
Nimro has been taking notes this whole time and just like very, very confused, like very lost.
Yeah. She's gone.
Just be yourself. It worked for me.
I thought so, considering that he asked me to choose place. Maybe he wanted to do something outside of his norm. He's going to the multiple.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like the nicest restaurant when we can look for the nicest food or the best food.
It seems like he's pretty aware of the whole deal that he's getting here. So I think it'll be fine.
I'm so glad Rick is not in this conversation. Because a window would have been broken.
Metaphorical or...
No, literally. He's fairly confident he could survive the fall.
I mean, if you rage, yeah.
I don't know about that. And, yeah, in that, this kind of winds down. You feel it stops again. So it kind of cuts the conversation, the sudden lurching of it, the latch and the opening of the door. You step out, Mel kind of just, good luck, and she's off. And leaving you all now. Ooh, I keep fucking yanking it. I keep putting my feet where they're comfortable, and I keep heeling the cable of my webcam upwards. That leaving you basically more or less where you started when you got here. Now the city a bit more bustling as people go to and fro to traverse the core spire and try to find your destination. And Mel's gonna roll to see how effective she is at getting anything done.
Come on, this is why she's in the party. She's a people person.
Well, she rolled pretty well, so we'll see what happens with that later. What are you guys doing now?
I guess we'll ask around and find the tavern. And maybe keep an eye out for interesting looking restaurants for our blue friend.
Yeah. And maybe finally get Rick some breakfast.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've kept this poor man from eating all morning.
Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
That's seconded.
Make an investigation check. Finding the Spire by Fire is easy. Finding restaurants will take active searching as you're traversing between here and where the Spire by Fire is pointed out to you.
Thank you for making an investigation and not perception.
Anytime.
Oh, yeah, that's a dirty 20.
Okay.
Ooh, yeah. I just rolled an 18.
Are we all rolling?
Yeah. I'll roll.
Okay.
That's a 10.
Okay.
Investigation? That would be a 10.
Okay. So in your travels you asked around a couple people where you might find the Spire by Fire, and they kind of give you easy enough directions to follow. In your navigation of the core spire, kind of making your way around it from the outside, you find you notice 3 different restaurants, like 3 establishments that look worth looking into later. The Copper Mockingbird, this is one built into, all these are on the external side of the spire. The Copper Mockingbird has it follows kind of its namesake. There is a large copper mockingbird kind of plaque over top, 2 double doors, and the outside is adorned in like orange copper decorations, effectively, that kind of stand out against the rock of the spire. A copper staircase with copper handguards that go up to kind of copper trimmed doors. You also see this one's less of a fancy place and more of a kind of like, it gives you almost like sports bar vibes. It's the Malt Brothers, a kind of place where the outer facade of the building is meant to look like a barrel, like you're walking into a big barrel. And then you also have La Rome, which is the Aroma in Marquesian, are the 3. And La Rome is probably it's not like, it doesn't look like tremendously fancy, but it's like a sort of understated kind of elegance to it in a sense. It doesn't have a bunch of fancy like standout stuff on the outside that signals its presence. It's almost like a hole in the wall, but with like a very expensive door. But you take note of each of those as you make your way around, and finally arrive at the Spire by Fire itself. It's almost like it looks almost like a makeshift stronghold, basically. It is a massive kind of 6-story building built into the edge of the rock on the core spire. You can see a number of balconies and torches burning top to bottom. and give the whole thing like a sort of warm glow to it that emanates out from the building, with the spire by fire signpost kind of plaque over the doors on the bottom level. You at this time of day, it's not tremendously busy. There's not a lot of movement in and out, but you can see from outside that there's a couple of people inside doing their thing, in there, eating and in conversation with each other when you arrive.
I guess, do we want our normal amount of rooms? Do we need more or fewer?
Nimra will probably, unless Celiana says otherwise, will probably keep the normal accommodation.
Yeah.
All right. I think we usually, do we get 2 or 3? Because I know sometimes Mal's with us. Sometimes Mal has private time to be able to talk to Felix without us goobers around.
No, I think just 2 is fine.
Okay, I'll go and see about getting 2 rooms then.
Okay. Yeah, you can make your way in, and when you're actually inside, there's a pretty unique mix of clientele. There's maybe like 10 people in the place in total right now. But you can see a couple of people that are clearly wealthy, dressed in like colorful silks and kind of finer wear, and just as well seeing much more clearly rough and kind of seedy tavern type people here as well, just looking for a drink. Those seated at the bar, the wealthier people seem to have like little booths where they sit off to the side. But you're able to, without much issue, you can head in and just quickly little exchange with the tavern, keep kind of back and forth. You can get 2 rooms for 1 gold apiece.
I will pay that.
Okay.
And I'll bring back whatever room key and hand it off to either Nimra or Celiana.
Okay.
All right, we're all set. I guess we're just waiting on Mel and Rick.
All right. Rick, are you doing your own thing? You with them?
No, Rick's a man of his word. Rick is waiting for the information. Now, I know you may not have it. I don't know if you do, but Rick is willing to wait.
Right. My bad. I almost completely forgot that he was up there. Yeah. In the time basically that it takes them to make that trip around, it takes maybe another hour and change. But you are able to get back that. Let me see here. Where did I put it? That apart from Professor Daywisher, there was in recent memory, there was an archivist with the Cobalt Soul who recently being within the last like couple years, came to Jrusar, came to the conservatory for some work that they were doing with one of the professors here. The professor specifically, let me get their name.
Random name generator.
No, I've got. I do use name generators, but I like to do them before. Yeah. I like to get them. I use the name generators. I just do them before. The professor in question has the surname. I forget. I should have written a pronunciation guide alongside the names I wrote down. It is a Professor Yeohart, which is Yeohart. Just Professor. You're not given a first name. And the archivist in question that they were said to have worked with was a Jellica Rosso.
Great. Rick, very, with as much charm as he can put on, takes the information. Thank you very much for this. I appreciate all of your hard work, and again, I apologize for any inconvenience we might have caused you. That was not our intention. When you travel with academics, they tend to believe that, all institutions of knowledge are open to them.
Right.
And I guess that's not the case here.
I apologize if it was an inconvenience on our part as well. Or if you assumed we were being distrustful.
No, it is not. It is not your fault. It is policy.
Right.
We wouldn't want you to get fired.
No, we wouldn't.
Of course. Oh, is there a story there?
No, I think most people wouldn't want to get fired.
No, just the way you said that, it feels like you knew somebody who got fired for that particular thing. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. I apologize.
Okay.
You do?
I do.
Oh, no, now you have to tell me. This is juicy.
Well, it's not all
leave
that
the names out.
It was someone maybe a couple of years back who was duped into allowing people in, and they got fired for it. It's really nothing more significant than that. I believe it was a bribe, if I recall correctly. Not very becoming of a member of the conservatory. So they were swiftly let go for it.
Well, a bribe. You would think it would. I certainly hope it was enough to start a life somewhere else,
One would hope.
It had to be significant.
For their sake.
Well, with that, thank you again. Hopefully we will be back with, proper permissions.
Hopefully. Good luck.
Thank you. And Rick will head out and deep breath as soon as he gets out, sort of shake off the muck of being in, a place of knowledge and books.
Yeah.
But with a name, whether it be elite or not, feeling satisfied that he has contributed something other than his blade to this particular adventure. Let's head for the core spire.
Okay. Yeah, you can without issue with the money you were given, pay the 2 silver toll, hop aboard the gondola, and be lurched into motion down to the core spire. And just as easily as they were, quickly ask 1 or 2 people on the street and be pointed around the core spire to where the Spire by Fire is located. Kind of
Do I pass the Malt brothers on the way there?
Yeah, yeah. If you're on the lookout, yeah, you definitely pass by all 3 of these places.
Listen, I have not had breakfast this morning. Great. Let's pop our heads into the Malt brothers.
Sure.
See if they're open for business.
Sure. Yeah, you when you head in, at this point it's close to like maybe 10:30, 11 o'clock.
Okay.
And
yeah, stomach growling.
Yeah, they're open, and there's a set of people in at like a couple tables and stuff being served, and you've got kind of near the front I forget the term for it. The person who actually like takes you and like asks you how many is in your party, and like because they're not called servers. A host. Yeah. Okay.
They're a host.
Yeah.
Okay.
I forgot. I knew there was a different name for it. I couldn't remember.
The greeter person.
Yeah. There you go. A young-looking half-orc who's kind of dressed in this kind of almost like, I don't want to call it pirate clothes, but it's like it kind of gives you that vibe. The shirt's kind of puffy, and it's got like a kind of like a vest kind of over top it. And he kind of he nods. You come in. He just for one.
Just me.
All right. Yeah, this way. And he kind of leads you around and just kind of gives you one of the smaller like 2-person tables that are open. The place is pretty empty right now.
Okay.
And just anything to drink for starters.
I do not know. Is your water contaminated?
No, it's quite clean.
Well, let us start with water, and then perhaps it's a little early for the hard stuff. So let us just start with a glass of water.
We'll start with water. Perfectly fine. And he will kind of make his way out, back around, and go to fetch you a glass. The rest of you, Huxley, you can step back out to the others with 2 keys in hand. You've been given rooms on the 3rd floor, and you are ready to go from there. What's next?
I mean, I think we're still just waiting on Mel and Rick, essentially.
Okay.
It's just a...
Yeah, Nimra is going to go to probably La Romeo and see if they can get a reservation.
Okay. Yeah. When you make your way back around, head inside. You're kind of greeted by a host as well. This place is right now. There's a bunch of people here. Like it's pretty. I wouldn't call it busy, but it's comfortably full. A number of very well dressed, elegantly dressed people seated at. It's not a huge place. It's got maybe 10 tables in a line, and then maybe like 6 booths against the wall. And it's most of them are occupied, and you can see all of these people seem to have like kind of small breakfast dishes, a drink, some coffee, that sort of thing. And you get in and you immediately get hit with like the aroma and scent of French bistro, and the host near the front, a older gnome with kind of like very like well kept white clearly aged but well kept hair that kind of sits like almost like in a bowl cut. He kind of looks up at you and just, hello, good morning, how can I help you?
Good morning.
Oh, he's got tails on, by the way. He's very, very well dressed.
Good morning. I wanted to inquire about having a reservation for 2 around 7 o'clock tonight.
Let me see. And he goes and quickly around the like little host's like podium and gets a little book out, and you can see him kind of thumbing through and checking. And would you prefer a booth or a table?
A roof would be lovely if it's available.
Okay.
I'm sure
and he
he
will
to die for.
Would you like an inner seat?
I did not hear you as the player.
So he said booth or table, and then he said, would you like an inner seat? Like an inspire seat. As in inside the spire. The view is quite nice.
No, let's go with an outer seat. I'd love to see that view.
Inner seat it is. Okay. And he kind of notes down. The implication is that because the spire, the building's built onto the outside of this tower mountain, the inner seat is because it's inside the mountain, and you're going to have a view. As you don't know what that means, because you as a character are conceptualizing like a cave when he says inside of it, but he says there is a really nice view on the inner spire seats that are available.
Take your word for it.
All right, certainly. So for 2 at 7 o'clock, would you like to put in specific requests for meals, for orders? Are you going to place them when you're here?
I'm sure that my companion will want to be able to peruse the menu at his own leisure.
Of course. Okay, I will note down 2 for 7 o'clock tonight in a spire seating. Excellent. That will, let me see. Okay. All right. Perfect. All set for 7 o'clock.
You don't require a name, or...
Well, if you'd like to give me a name, well, I suppose that would be smart in case your partner comes here before you. But I mean, I'll recognize your face.
It'll be under for Nimra.
Nimra, got it. And he'll add that to it as well.
Thank you for your time.
Looking forward to seeing you then. Of course.
And
he
then
will
we'll leave.
He will around, put the book back to his little stance. There you go. And in the next little bit of time, Rick, while you find something to eat, order a little something, it's at this time of day, it is a pretty like what you'd kind of expect as like sort of breakfast staples, right? Maybe flavored kind of similar to back home, like what you'd expect maybe from like a sort of tropical space, because you are in a jungle effectively. And while by name some of the meats or some of the fruits or drinks are unfamiliar to you, you kind of get the sense of what you can pick out that kind of feels like what breakfast you might find back in Port Jamali or anywhere on the coast. It's kind of, it's a comfortable familiarity with a sort of newness that's nice, because it is what your order has new flavors but kind of familiar things, like familiar sensations, textures, and that sort of thing. So it's a reminder of home with new things to experience with it, which is nice. And in the time you take to sit, to order, to eat, while Nimra goes and makes the reservation, in that time you do get a message in your head at first. Hello! I think I got him. Sorry, I forgot we have the book. Anyways, this Nico guy, I think I know where to... And then the book. I think I know where to find him. Probably best we don't bother him at work. So we can sort of wait around to catch him when he comes home. I hope you guys are grateful. I am not proud of what I had to do to find this. Anyways, somewhere around 6 o'clock, we should make our way to his house. I don't know if you want to, like, be waiting outside or, like, knock on his door after we see him go inside. Also, apparently, he's, like, a really big bird guy. He's huge and has really bright pink feathers, so he'll be really easy to see. Taka can't hear you.
Oh,
there you go.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I was snacking. Huxley will write back to Melancholy. Thank you for your trouble. I will buy you breakfast/lunch.
Oh, I don't think I have an appetite anymore.
I'm gonna look at the others. Maybe do we need to... I didn't tell her that she had to do anything.
I think that one's all on Mel. Frankly.
All right, maybe I should be more clear that
She
we don't need this. Yeah, she did. But I mean, we don't need this so badly that she has to compromise her safety and or sanity.
I'm getting the impression that it doesn't take much for her to do that.
This is like a funnel situation all over again. It's just worse because...
You're not wrong. I'm sure whatever it is, it's fine, and we definitely won't have to worry about it coming back to bite us in the ass.
And then I'll wait. Did Melancholy break off before we found the inn, or?
Yes, she got off as soon as you got off the gondola.
Then I'll tell her where we are.
Okay.
And not respond.
Okay, great.
To the concerning message.
Great. Okay, I'll try to find my way there. See you soon. Takes her like an hour, but she does get there. She'll find you guys. I'm guessing you're inside when she gets there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a table.
Okay. Yeah. So she'll head in and find you guys and make her way over to your table and just like, okay, great. The good news is I found him. Bad news is, I have no money, but I found him. So there's that. He's working right now, and he probably will be until later. He works at like some theater or something, but he should be coming home later in the evening. And like I said, we can like, catch him before he goes in, or like if we think that's too forward, we can like knock on his door, whatever.
I mean, we could try to approach him on the street. I mean, he's that may seem antagonistic, but I mean, if he doesn't want to open a door to us, then that's also complicated.
Yes, it sounded like he was not very interested in talking to people, so it might be easier to just kind of corner him and make him talk to us in a nice way.
I do like cornering people in a nice way. I don't like the silence after that. I think I'm gonna stop saying things for a little while.
No, it's all right. We were just
No, it's fine. I get it. It's fine. I get it. It's cool. It's cool. Like
about you.
About me? Why?
I don't. Interpreting text is difficult. Interpreting people is hard enough as it is. You seemed distressed.
Oh, like with what I said before? No, I'm fine. It's all good.
Is she fine?
Insight check.
Is she fine?
Yeah, is she fine?
Oh.
It's a 15.
That's 19.
She seems fine.
Okay. All right. Well, we have a lead at least. Are there any other loose ends that we need to tie up while we're here, or are we just gonna futz around?
I said I wouldn't drink, so I will wait.
We should probably find where AJ's at. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Now you're breaking the fourth wall.
Nimra, who is AJ?
Who's this?
Is this some new professor you met somewhere?
Never heard that name before.
Oh, fucking hell. Okay.
9 of them, as a matter of fact.
We should probably find where Rick wandered off to. See if he did have the information that might be useful. If he didn't have the information, it would be good to know where we stand.
Rick, by the time you were done eating, would you have made your way to the core spire or done?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I figured
So
I was
then-
on the core spire, and
Or,
then head
sorry.
to one of the 2 places. Yeah,
to the spire by fire, I mean. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So, in that time, Rick would make his way back to the spire by fire, find you guys there discussing this. And then I suppose I've got 2 more things to ask. One, Riza, you're usually out at 6. You out at 6 today, or are you 6? Yeah?
I am out
Okay,
at 6 today.
gotcha. So then I will say, let's see. That leaves us with 2 things to do tonight. Mel said to be at Emmerich's around 6. Nimra, you've got dinner at 7. So I'd imagine this conversation will be squaring away what you'll do in the meantime. Like I said, at this point, it's probably closer to like 2 o'clock. What you're doing in the meantime, and whether there's a sort of plan to split. Melancholy knows his house is maybe like a 20-minute walk from where the Spire by Fire is, and as a result, not too far from the Lamore either. So, up to you guys how you wanna approach that. If he's expected to be there by 6, that gives you an hour between that and your dinner reservation. I'd imagine Nimra would be going to that alone. So up to you guys to sort of figure out and plan.
I do love the idea of like Nimmer goes to dinner with Hastor, and Rick and Celion are just standing in a corner
Watching,
Like,
yeah.
Make a move. Make a
Like-
move, Archie.
Newspapers
Oh my
with the eye
God.
holes cut out.
Yeah.
This kind of sitcom presence, you know?
They've got mustaches and sunglasses on, and they're at the table next to them, and they've got newspapers and the menus
Yep.
over their faces, and they just kind of keep lowering them to check. Yeah.
It's like
Or they've got
fucking hilarious.
the outfit of that the little chef in Ratatouille has when he's spying on them to try to catch the rats. He's got the big trench coat. I will have what
Yeah.
E is having. Yeah, that whole thing.
I am their bodyguard.
It's
so...
true. It's true.
Right, and Rick's just looking for an opportunity to stab someone. So.
Oh yeah,
When is he not?
Specifically Haster.
yeah.
Well, that's an
No.
entirely different
If
thing to
wants
hash
to go
out.
in separately to get a reservation.
So
Nimmer would have written this down in the book.
it's true.
That-
Right, so we all know where
It'll be
Nimmer's going to
downtime.
be.
They
Yeah.
have to
Yeah.
let you,
Her downtime activity.
There
they
you go.
have to let Haster know where they're at.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So yeah, in that time, unless there's anything anybody would want to do in the in between, then I imagine your conversation there consists of figuring that out, making those plans, which I'll let you all decide and figure out in the interim, and kind of resolving to tend to that. So you spend an hour and change having these discussions, ordering some breakfast finally for some of you, lunch at this point, getting a drink, settling in, and making your plans of attack for confronting this Nico Thatch and for Nimra's first date, both of equal importance. And those kind of conversations keep you busy, and the conversations, the food keep you busy as eventually the sun sort of settles and sets close to like 5:30, 5:45, early kind of sunset, and the kind of glow of the spire starts to sort of become more pronounced as the darkness settles outside, and that kind of nighttime ambience to this place kind of settles in. The doors are shut, as at this point you can feel a pretty cold draft of the mountain air coming in through the doors as darkness settles in, and you find your place and set your course and prepare for Dungeons and Dating next week. And that's where we'll call it. That's another one
All
done.
right.
Easy peasy.
All right.
A lot less into that than I expected, so that gives me a pretty solid sense of where we'll be at next week, which is pretty exciting. Oh man, I it's true. I overdid it on prepping this week because I was like, ooh, this is all my notes are so nice now. I can write a whole bunch, and I did a bunch of stuff that I was super excited for. That now I have to wait. Next week's gonna kick my ass because I'm going from this. And then an hour later, I'm going to a 12-hour shift because I took overtime. Next week, it's going to kick my ass.
Oh.
We
Worth it,
promise
though.
it'll be nice and easy next week.
It's not going to be.
Yeah.
A little bit of
not gonna
casual dating. We're going to rough up this poor Ruinous Born man. It'll all be.
I'm going to rough him up.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. He didn't do anything to you. I hope not.
We don't
I
know
said
that.
nicely.
Yeah, you did say you'd corner him nicely. That's true.
Yep.
Hello, kitty.
All right.
This is my sack
gotta
of
bounce.
potatoes, Mr. Boogaloo.
Hi. Hi.
Okay. All right, we're all good. Yeah?
Bye.
See you guys next week.
Yep.
Goodbye.
Bye.
All
Get in
done.
the comments.
Do it quickly.
Oh,
Engage.
that's where those
Engagement.
friends. Engagement.